Good evening, Lion fans, and welcome to T.A. Cotton Ford Stadium for tonight's season opener for the Greenville Lions against the Frisco Heritage Coyotes. I'm Bob Muty alongside Bentley Love and our technician Matthew Middleton. And together we're ready to bring you another exciting season of Lions football. Greenville has had two scrimmages so far, one against Arlington Heights and one against Wills Point. Bentley, you had an opportunity to call the scrimmage last week. What'd you think?
I thought, when I was up here watching the game and calling it and everything, I thought that the Lions looked way better than they did the first week. I saw a lot of good things from a lot of good players, but probably the biggest standout player to me was Phoenix Rodriguez. I believe he went 7 for 13 with about 225 yards last week, and just all around a good performance from the freshman quarterback. So hoping to see a little bit more of that tonight.
Well, he's one of the guys we're going to be talking about tonight, probably going to be the most interesting. We haven't had a freshman quarterback in many, many years.
I don't remember the last time for sure.
Another interesting situation, of course, is our new coach, David Collins. He is the athletic director as well, and he has hired some new assistants and has a really large staff. And from what I understand, he's really working these guys hard. So we're hoping, based upon what we saw down here pre-game, seems like everything's pretty well organized.
Yeah.
Who is the announcer?
Also in the district.
These are the referees.
Okay, thank you.
Is Midlothian Heritage, and they're predicted to finish first. They were a playoff team. They went very deep, I think 3 or 4 rounds last year. So the Jaguars of Midlothian Heritage are picked to finish number 1 in our district. Also in the district, predicted to finish high are the Ennis Lions, the Crandall Pirates, and the Turtle Tigers. Corsicana's Tigers, Kaufman's Lions, and Mesquite Potteet's Pirates round out the 8-team district. Bentley, Dave Campbell has projected that the Lions will finish 7th this season. What's your take on that?
I think it's a realistic prediction. We're in a tough district this year. However, looking at this team last week, if they play like they did last week, this team could jump up and surprise a bunch of people this year. I think 7 is a reasonable place to put them at the very start of the season, but I'm hoping we're going to see a lot of good football played tonight and throughout the season, and they're going to quickly jump up and finish a lot higher than that. But at the end of the day, only time will tell on that.
We rode up the elevator, Matthew and I, with Coach Stephen Ford, who's a running backs coach, and he played for Coach Collins in high school. And I said, well, I understand he's really working you guys hard. He says, hey, but he's fair. And he gives us time off to be with our family, but we get started at 5:30 in the morning, and we get off at 3:30 in the afternoon. So,
and hey, that's something else talking about Coach Collins. We've got a starting quarterback that's a freshman for Greenville, but there's a lot of freshmen on this varsity roster, and talked a little bit about that last week, but that's not something you see all that often. But going on to the hard work thing, it's definitely showing too. Collins is rewarding the players that are putting in the time, putting in the effort, putting in the hard work, and they're seeing those rewards. And so I think that's a great thing, and that's one of the reasons why we're seeing Phoenix start. And it's great to get these guys some really good experience playing against even a little bit older guys earlier on than wait until they're juniors or seniors to be on varsity.
Yeah, I noticed we got a sophomore starting on the offensive line, so we got some younger people being introduced to the mix, and I think that's a good thing.
I think it is too.
All right, we'll be back to talk about the starting lineups for Greenville after this word from our sponsor.
All right, and welcome back from the break. We're going to go ahead and get started here with some of our starting lineups. Bob, would you like to lead us off with the offense?
I would be happy to do that. We've got some names that you'll recognize, but like we talked about, we got some newcomers as well. And let's start with our quarterback. He'll wear number 9. It's Phoenix Rodriguez, a freshman. We're guessing he stands about 5'9", maybe weighs 150 pounds soaking wet. Running back will be number 0, Daniel Renner, and number 25, Greg Washington. At tight end, it'll be number 16, Caleb Yost. And at the wide receiver spots, we're going to have Chris Whitus, number 5. He's a sophomore. Caleb Hale wears number 2. And we'll probably see a lot of Dadrian Payton, number 13, at the wideout as well. Starting up front, the big guys. At left tackle, junior Julian Sixtos. Julian's a 6'4", 250-pound junior. And at left guard, Victor Orsunio wears number 69. Victor's a senior, 6'2", weighs 320 pounds. At center, senior Nicholas Just wears number 55. Nick comes in at 6'2", 230. At right guard is Braden Maps. He'll wear number 54, big guy at 6 foot, 300 pounds. And at right tackle, that sophomore we talked about earlier, wears number 77, Levi Davenport. Now let's take a look at the other side of the ball, Bentley.
So on the other side, the big 3 up front for the Lions on defense are all 3 juniors. We got number 52, Cash Garcia, number 60, Mario Valentine, and number 66, Makai McEwen. The linebacker core for the Lions, we got number 16, senior, Caleb Yost, number 18, junior, Jamorian Hamilton, and number 23, Jaden Johnson. In the secondary for the Lions tonight, we've got senior Reagan Goggins, number 7. At the other cornerback position, we've got senior number 3, Jaden Gibson. And then at the 2 safety positions, we've got number 0, senior Daniel Renner, and senior number 1, Aiden Lewis.
I'll tell you what, we got a lot of underclassmen, and that's a really good thing because you got to build the program from, in this case with Rodriguez, from the freshmen up through sophomores, juniors, before you get to those seniors.
And that really is a good thing too, like you said, because while there are a bunch of underclassmen on this team, there's still a good, healthy amount of upperclassmen that were here last year to help these guys come along. And I think that's really important. And it's going to create a good balance. But when these seniors and juniors graduate this year or next year, not starting over either. They're going to have several guys that have been here for a little while.
Yeah, that's got to make a big difference in terms of the continuity from year to year. And I think that's one of the things, as you indicated earlier, Coach Collins is looking to try to do. For a minute, let's talk about the Coyotes from Frisco. They have a couple of guys who are probably D1 prospects. One of them is wide receiver Tatum Bell. Bell put up some big numbers last year, including 8 TDs. He stands 5'11", he's 190 pounds, he runs a 4.5. And throwing to him will be Joshua Greek. Pretty good numbers on him. He's one of the guys to look for tonight. And in looking at down onto the field from up at our vantage point, he looks like to be maybe 6'3", 6'4". So quite a bit bigger than Rodriguez. Probably able to look over those big linemen up front.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a different build, but no doubt about it, though, even though he may be smaller, we did see a lot of good stuff from Rodriguez last week. He was very shifty, but a lot of times smaller guys, they rely on their running, and he could definitely run the ball, but he sure could throw it too.
Well, if you're going to play quarterback, you better be able to throw the ball.
Yes, sir.
Getting back to Frisco, they've got a big defensive lineman named Dominic Nolan, and he's also listed to be probably one of the guys to watch tonight. He's only 6 feet tall, but he weighs 265. I bet he's quick as a cat.
Yes, sir. And here come the Lions out of the tunnel as they're donning some new uniforms this season. They're in all white with red numerals and look to be outlined in black, so they'll be real clear, real easy to see. They were led out of the tunnel by the ROTC guys carrying the GHS flags, of course, and running through the flashes and the cheerleaders here tonight as we're getting things underway.
Yeah, Jamorian Hamilton, one of the leaders on the defense, was the first guy out of the tunnel, and I really do like those unis. We're kind of used to seeing red helmets, and we got white helmets tonight. We're completely white. Everybody's got white shoes, too.
Hey, I like that. One uniform really unifies the team, and You know, you see a lot of teams that are going with like in the NFL and such, going with a whiteout look. And me personally, I really like it. I think it's a real clean, real classy look.
You remember who started that, don't you?
Can't say that
Billy
I did.
White Shoes Johnson. Billy White Shoes Johnson. Yeah, that's really a good look. I do look down there, and those numbers are going to be really easy to pick up tonight. I appreciate what Coach Collins has done with those uniforms.
Yeah, and these helmets and everything are so new. As a matter of fact, earlier this week, they hosted a little event where a bunch of dads came up to the school and helped all the players put the decals on the helmets. So these uniforms, when we say they're new, they are brand new.
That's a great way to get the community involved. Last year, Coach Jackson had a program on Friday morning called Lion Dads, and it was an opportunity to feed the kids breakfast. And members of the community, men, came in and mentored certain players on the team, and I thought it really worked out well. And I think Coach Collins does a similar thing. He calls his breakfast of Champions.
I like that. I like that. You know, everything needs to have a good, strong name if you were going to be a winner. And Breakfast of Champions, that sounds really good.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
You do. And you know, they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
I can't get my wife to eat it, though. And looking at last year, the Lions finished with a 3-7 record, and Heritage finished at 6-4. Heritage predicted to finish 6th in their district, as we said. Greenville's picked to finish 7th, ahead of Mesquite Poteet. But I got a feeling that Collins is going to change that ranking before the season's over.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. And we're going to see a very different Lions team this year, I think, but we're going to see a good Lions team this year, I feel like. And when you talk to any of the guys or you see anything that's being posted on social media or something like that, all of these guys seem to have a good sense of unity. And it's not just sense of unity amongst the seniors and the varsity guys. It goes from the varsity guys all the way down through the whole program.
Yeah. Looks like the Greenville captains tonight, they're moving to the center of the field for the coin toss. Aiden Lewis, the defensive back, number 1. He's an outstanding student, by the way. Number 16, Caleb Yost, will play defensive end. I think Caleb will also be doing some of the punting tonight. But Jamorian Hamilton, another one of the captains, and then center Nick Just. And onto the field come the Heritage Coyotes from Frisco. Well, they have 12 high schools in Frisco?
Something like that. They're getting way up there. There's a bunch of them.
Crazy. When I was selling typewriters for IBM, for those of you who remember that, probably not many of you, I went to Frisco, and it was no trouble finding a school. It was about as big as this stadium, and it housed all 12 grades. So that'll give you an idea how old I am.
Yeah, and the 4 captains for Heritage tonight are number 5, Jacob McDonald, number 9, Dominique Nolan, number 27, Sean French II, and number 52, Brody Campos.
All right, we're probably getting ready for the national anthem. All the players on the Greenville side standing on the sideline, helmet in hand, and seems to be a tradition that they put their left hand on the shoulder of the guy next to them on their left. And everyone is standing now, so from our Greenville High School band, we'll perform the national anthem.
Thank you. Would you please remain standing, and gentlemen, remove your hats. I draw your attention to the 50-yard line for the posting of tonight's colors.
pretty interesting. Just as the national anthem was winding down in front of the NROTC cadets who were walking off the field, Aiden Lewis, who clearly is one of the leaders of this team, started running in front of the team and looking at him like come on guys, it's our time. This is a season opener. Let's get after these guys.
Trying to get them pumped up and set the tone for the game, but not only set the tone for the game, set the tone for the whole season.
Well, we're in a new district. We talked about some of the teams we'll be playing, but it's nice not to have to worry about Melissa and Lovejoy.
I agree. Now, Ennis and Crandall are still going to be a bit of a tough match, but it is definitely nice to not have to look at Melissa and Lovejoy on the schedule, like you said.
No problem. I'm not exactly sure which team is kicking off. It looks like the Lions are going to be receiving, so they'll be receiving from the north end of the stadium. They'll be moving from our left to our right. So kicking off will be the Coyotes, and I think their kickoff man happens to be a number 35. His name is Nolan Fitzgerald. He's only a sophomore. Actually, it's going to be number 40, Hector Santana, who's a senior kicker. So apparently they've got two pretty good legs on the Coyotes. Deep to receive for the white-clad Greenville Lions are, can you tell me?
I believe it's number 0, Daniel Renner, as well as number 5, Chris Whitus.
Okay, both real speedsters. We know about Renner because he was on the sprint relay team that finished very well in district. And from what I understand from talking to Danny Black, Chris Whitus is also a speedster. So here's the kickoff. It's a short kick. It's up in the air, and that might have been recovered. It's bouncing around. I think maybe one of the Lions pounced on it. That ball could have gone to anybody.
It really could have, but it does look like they signaled it is Lions ball, and it looks like it was number 90, Teeters Armstrong, for the Lions that jumped on that ball.
Yeah, he's one of the sophomores, so heads up for the sophomore is big number 90. He's a big boy. Gets on that and protects the field position, which is excellent. It'll be at the 43-yard line where the Lions will set up shop.
Yeah, so the Lions immediately run out, no huddle. They've got a couple receivers split out to the left.
Man in motion. Flip to the motion man. Looks like it might be Renner. And up over the inside the Frisco territory goes number 5, Chris Whitus.
So he picks up about 6 there to bring up 2nd and 4 here for the Lions from the 49-yard line on the other side of the 50.
We talked about Levi Davenport, the sophomore right tackle. He looks to be at maybe 6'4", 260, so he's a big chunk of meat down there on the right side. Rodriguez takes the snap, hands off to Renner, who's brought down immediately for a loss. Like number 33 on the tackle for Heritage.
Aiden Lozano.
All right, so that'll bring up a 3rd and 5 for the Lions. Pretty good on that first down, but not too much off left tackle that time, Bentley.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll see a little bit of a difference here. We'll see if he runs it. I kind of think we may see a pass play after they ran it the first two.
Yeah, third we'll call a long 5. Certainly a passing situation. 2 receivers right. The H-back is Greg Washington. He's in motion. Rolling right is Rodriguez. Can't find anybody. Now he finds Washington on the sideline, and it's broken up by the defensive back, number 5, but there is a penalty on the play.
We'll see what that is.
He picked up the flag.
Picked it up.
I think what happened is he had his flag in his hat, and he took off his hat.
Maybe. I think you may be right. So, play would have been good for a first down, but unfortunately it was broken up. So that'll bring out the punting unit here for the Lions on 4th and 5.
Caleb Yost is in deep formation. The aforementioned Armstrong Teeters is one of the backs, along with Washington, who's now coming onto the field. Looks like they've got they snap up to the line of scrimmage. The 3 guys drop back, the blockers. I think maybe the deep snapper is Caden Walters. It's a low snap. Nice job by GEUS to get that off, but it kind of goes off the side of his foot. And they're going to mark it between the 29 and the 30-yard line of Heritage. So the Greenville defense gets its first look as the Lions go 3 and out.
So Frisco Heritage here will come up to the 29-yard line where they're going to mark it. And like you said, we're going to get to see some defense here from the Lions. Hopefully we'll see some good, strong defense here. They did a really good job last week of stopping the run game, so hopefully we'll see that continue here tonight as the Lions' big 3 comes up to the line of scrimmage.
Heritage lines up with 3 receivers right, 1 split left. Greek takes the snap, looks right, finds his man on a bubble screen, dodges a couple of tackles before he's brought down after a gain of maybe 3 or 4 yards.
Several lines there on the play. It's a little hard to see it, read the numbers, as there was a whole pile of them or a whole pride of lines there.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage. Now the tackles split out. Now this is an interesting formation. 3 on either side. 2 blockers and a receiver. And they hand the ball off up the middle. It's probably Denzel Okiki-Uchi. And it is Okiki-Uchi. We're going to call him Denzel O for the rest of the night.
Sounds good to me. And it looked like number 6, Devin Stroud, and number 23, Jaden Johnson on the tackle for the Lions there.
That's going to move the chains for Heritage. Ball spotted at their own 42-yard line. Make it to 43. Greek takes a snap, fakes to O, and throws to his wide receiver who steps out of bounds after a pickup of about 8 yards.
And that was number 2, Tatum Bell for Frisco Heritage. But there is a flag on the play here, so we'll see what that is here in just a second.
Going to be a hold. Excuse me. Going to be a hold against Heritage.
Send them all the way back.
That'll cost the Coyotes 10 yards and bring them back beyond the original line of scrimmage. We'll call it 1st and 12 for Frisco Heritage. In maroon with white pants.
And white numerals.
Again, pretty distinguishable, so hopefully our eyes will not fail us too often tonight. Joshua Greek is a junior quarterback, and he's got a junior running back in Denzel O. Pass quickly out to Tatum Bell. Bell avoids a couple tackles, and Jamorian Hamilton has to run him down from behind after a pickup of about 8 yards.
Yeah, like you said, he evaded the first few tacklers, but once Hamilton got him, it was over for him. Hamilton got him and took him down pretty much instantly.
I noticed the running back came out and led interference. That was a pretty nicely designed play.
It was.
The offensive coordinator. 2nd down, we'll call it 6 to go for Frisco Heritage. 8:53 remaining here in the first quarter of our season opener. In motion, and the motion man gets the pitch. Has some room on the right side, still going. Evades a tackler, he's loose. He's at the 20, the 10, the 5, and he's dragged down about the 3-yard line.
By, looked like number 3, Jaden Gibson for the Lions.
Wow.
And he broke free, picked up a lot of yardage, but Gibson was able to chase him down and keep him from getting into the end zone. Hopefully we'll see the Lions stand strong like we did several times last week.
That was V.J. Hooper, who's one of the players to watch tonight. And clearly, when he got that ball, you talk about getting some yards after the catch.
He's definitely shifty. 1st
and 10, Denzel O up the middle, and he busts his way into the end zone for a Frisco Heritage touchdown. 8:16 remaining, and Frisco Heritage cracks the goal line to go up 6-0.
And it looks like they're going to keep the offense out here to go for 2.
Yeah, their kicking game may be a suspect. The referee's asking for the clock operator to pump the game clock back up, or the play clock. So it's a similar formation that they showed earlier with 2 blockers in front of each receiver on either side. Greek this time kind of fumbles the ball, and gets brought down by Hamilton in the backfield. Nice job by Jamorian. The Greek, he just never got a good handle on that.
He didn't. It hit him in the hands. He bobbled it a little. Was able to secure it, but by the time he secured it, Hamilton was right there waiting for him.
All right, we'll take a short break and get ready for the kickoff. No, we're not going to take a break. Matthew says, don't take a break, Bob. I told you earlier, don't take a break. So we're not going to take a break, don't we? How about that?
That's fine with me. You know, aside from that one play where I believe that was, like you said, VJ Hooper who broke loose there, Lions defense looked pretty solid there besides that one play. But I really liked what I saw from Jamorian Hamilton on that drive as he really stepped up and made several big plays for the Lions.
Yeah, from his linebacker spot, it looks like Hamilton's going to be one of the team leaders on defense. Yeah. So, offense, not so good. Defense, not so good. What do you think?
I think it's the first drive.
Okay. All right.
I'm staying optimistic this season, Bob.
There you go.
I'm staying optimistic.
All right, Renner and Whitus are going to be the deep men once again. I'd like to see one of those two guys get their hands on the ball, but I think Heritage probably knows about their speed, and I don't think that Hector Santana is going to kick the ball deep.
And I can't say that I blame him. I wouldn't want to either to those guys, but it sure would be nice if they tested them.
Well, we'll just wait and see. Santana has it set up like he's going to kick it deep. He kicked kind of an onside kick last time, and Greenville was fortunate to come up with it. He now approaches the ball, and it's kind of a pop-over kick, and it's called a fair catch, and it's fumbled and covered by Greg Washington. That was Noah Davenport who lost the handle. He was looking up into the sun, I think.
Yeah, and it looked like he was backing up and kind of backed up into Washington there, and combination of running into Washington as well as looking directly into the sunlight, wasn't able to come up with it, but luckily Washington was there to jump on it immediately.
Okay, so the Lions will set up shop at their own 21-yard line. Pretty effective pop-over kick by Santana. So we have a belt of shade from the 25 to the 25 created by the press box. Everything else is in the bright sun. So Rodriguez is in the sunlight. He takes a snap, hands off to Washington. Not much room over white tackle for Greg.
Yeah, it looked like Greg picked up maybe a yard, got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe gained a yard, but nothing more than that, as it looks like it is going to bring up 2nd and 9 maybe here for the Lions.
Trying to run behind Maps and Davenport that time on the right side. We'll call it no gain. 2nd and 10 for the Lions, 7:50 remaining here in the first quarter. They trail 6-0.
Lions split a receiver out on each side.
Rodriguez takes a snap, tries to keep it, and he's buried for looks like maybe a loss, 2 yards maybe.
Yeah, he had a very short window there, but quickly was closed by a whole skulk of Coyotes as they brought him down for a loss.
All right, third and 11 as the Greenville offense just sputtering a little bit, trying to find their way. It is early. We've had 2 scrimmages, one against a 5A team, one against a 4A team, and the results, of course, were different. Washington this time is going to set up on the left side, 2 receivers wide left. Renner and Rodriguez. Rodriguez is back. He's under pressure. He scrambles to his left, avoids a man and throws and tries to get it to Caleb Hale, but it's a little bit short. He was just under pretty good pressure that time.
Yeah, and that was the senior linebacker, number 27, Sean French, the second for Heritage there, and he's got a lot of experience at this level.
Rodriguez did a good job just to grit at that thing and avoid the sack.
Yes, sir.
So punt formation once again for the Lions. Caleb Yost is deep, standing at his own 11-yard line. The wind is at his back. He gets the ball up high, but it's still a short kick. It bounces at midfield and is covered at about the Greenville 48-yard line by Heritage. Relatively short kick by Yost. quickly covered. That came down amongst several guys. That could have hit anybody and become a live ball.
Yeah, it definitely could have. It definitely could have, and it could have gotten real ugly real quick. For Heritage.
Or nice.
Or nice for us.
Nice for us, yeah. Fortunately, somebody for Heritage was Johnny on the spot and knew exactly what Bentley and I are talking about and got on that thing immediately.
Heritage breaks their huddle with their coaches, runs out onto the field as Greenville's already up to the line of scrimmage waiting on them.
Greenville DBs, deep DBs are Aiden Lewis, Devin Stroud, and Renner on the far side.
Lined up at corner on the home side is number 4, Mark Dumas.
Greek takes a snap, and there's a stoppage of play, pre-play penalty, more than likely going to go against Heritage, or it's a timeout. Coach, Matthew wants a timeout now, so Bentley, why don't we go ahead and take a timeout for this word from our sponsors.
And welcome back here to TA Cotton Ford Stadium, as it is now 7:17 with 6.5 minutes left on the clock here in the first quarter. Look at both teams still in the huddle, talking it over with their coaches, getting hydrated. We've got a temperature of about 86 degrees right now, which I don't know about y'all, if any of y'all were much outside much today, but it was noticeably cooler today, I felt like, than days past.
Until the sun came out, it was reading 80 degrees at my place. I was out working at the pool, and boy, it felt great. Anyway, we're back. Got a first down for Heritage at the Greenville 48-yard line. Junior quarterback Joshua Greek at the helm, gets a snap, looks to his left, finds Hall, and Tatum makes his way down for about a 5-yard pickup.
And Bell was pushed out by a whole pride of lines there, led by number 18, Jamorion Hamilton, and I think we're going to be calling his name a lot tonight.
Yeah, hopefully we'll call it correctly.
I do too.
Call it Bell instead of Hall. So my mistake, my apologies to Tatum Bell. That's a great name, by the way, for a football player.
It really is.
Of course, Phoenix Rodriguez is even better.
Both of them just roll right off the tongue.
Okay, one receiver to the left, 3 receivers to the right, 4 Greek. He's got Denzel O next to him in the backfield. Looks to his right, fakes, he's gone deep. Good coverage that time by Renner, and Renner goes up with the receiver and almost brings down the interception.
Yeah, and that was Renner's to bring down, and we saw the wide receiver there for Heritage. He was looking for it, but quickly realized he had to turn into a defender to try to knock that one away from Renner, because if he hadn't done what he did, it definitely would have been a pick by the Lions.
It might have been V.J. Hooper over there. I don't see that. No, it wasn't Hooper. It was number 5, Jacob McDonald, fighting for that. So it's a third down, and we'll call it 4 for Heritage at the Greenville 41-yard line. 2 receivers either way. Greek looks right, had good pressure, and the ball is dropped by Hooper. Might have been a pre-snap penalty. Let's just wait and see. If not, it'll be a 4th down situation. And it is. Wait a minute, the refs are going to have a little caucus here. I don't see a flag on the play. I don't see nothing on the field.
I don't either. There is nothing down there, but we'll see what they've got here in just a second. Hopefully, it won't affect the outcome of that play, because it'd be nice to get a turnover on downs there. Because not turnover on downs, but force them to punt, because I don't foresee them kicking anything from this far out.
Here's the explanation. It's a personal foul against Heritage, and that'll cost them 15 yards, Bentley. And that'll move them back into their own territory. And with 4th down, you would think they'd go into punt formation.
Yeah, we'll see here, because that's going to bring up, man.
No, it'll be maybe the 3rd down.
Third
Get
and
the down over again.
Yeah, 3rd and a long way, that's for sure.
Well, there's they're bringing a lot of people onto the field. The down mark on the far side does say 4, so must have been a post-play penalty.
Must have been.
So after the drop by Hooper, there was a personal foul penalty, so we've got the Heritage kicker standing at his own 30-yard line. It's a high snap, gets some pressure, but he gets off a good kick, and it's fielded nicely, fair catch, by Chris Coytes. He's knocked, or tapped at least, by one of the Heritage defenders, but no call is made. So, nice defensive stand that time. A little bit of help from a drop ball and a personal foul penalty, but we'll take them any way we can get them.
We will. They're all part of football, so I'm happy with any bit of them.
Absolutely. So Greenville's got a little bit better field position now, as White has caught that thing, fair caught it at the 27-yard line. 6:08 remaining here in a 6-0 game. Heritage out in front. See Jaden Johnson now moving into the offensive backfield, along with Greg Washington. Behind Rodriguez is Jaden Johnson. He fakes the snap to Johnson, rolling to his right, under pressure, and dumps it, but it doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage, and there comes the flag. Yeah, Phoenix had to get that ball beyond the line of scrimmage in order for it not to be a penalty, so there'll be a grounding call against the freshman.
Yeah, and that was number 27, Sean French, the second again for Heritage.
Well, they said he was one of the guys to watch, and clearly he's making his presence known.
Yeah, they were not kidding. So that's going to back the Lions all the way up to the 19-yard line here.
And that is a loss of down penalty as well, so that one really hurts the Lions. Got to give your quarterback a little bit more time if he's going to be effective. Two receivers out to the left, tight end on the right side. Snap to Rodriguez, up straight back, good protection this time. Finds his man at the 30, and up is Whitus up over the 40-yard line. Chris White, a sophomore wide receiver, takes one right on the 5.
That was a big pickup of a first down there for the Lions, as they were facing not an ideal situation by any means and were able to turn it into something.
Well, the two ingredients were necessary right there, Bentley. One is protection, and secondly is a real accurate throw by the freshman quarterback.
Exactly. And Whitus being a sophomore, that's a matchup we're going to get to see hopefully a lot.
That snap this time to Rodriguez is handed off to Washington. He's got a little room, and he gets the cut down. Actually, that's Johnson, number 23, Jaden Johnson. He's down to the 45-yard line. I'll pick up 5 yards.
And he was hit by number 23, sophomore Malik Brown for Heritage, but not before, like you said, he picked up 5 yards there to bring up 2nd and 5 for the Lions.
Little momentum for the Greenville squad. One receiver out either side. 4 in the backfield. Rodriguez on the keeper runs into Davenport, and unfortunately, that really slowed his momentum.
Yeah, he was trying to find his opening, spun out of one defender, but unfortunately his lineman was standing there trying to give him some protection, but got a little jumbled up there.
Yeah, we'll call it a pickup of a yard, so it'll be 3rd and 4. For Greenville, ball spotted at their own 46-yard line with 4:35 remaining here in the first quarter. They trail Heritage by a touchdown. Heritage unsuccessful with a 2-point conversion attempt, so it stands at 6-0. Hale to the right, Whitus to the left. Phoenix Rodriguez takes a snap, looking to his right, moving left, under pressure, gets it to Johnson. Oh, what a hit there. That was a hit that time by number 28.
Yeah,
Waltz, Taden Waltz. Ooh, boy, he put a hit on Jaden Johnson.
he really did, and it looks like they may give him a yard there, but it's going to bring up 4th and 3, 4th and 4, and it's not going to change much, as it looks like the Lions are going to go ahead and bring out the punt team, understandably so.
Yeah, a little bit early to try to gamble when you're in your own territory. Ball spotted at the 47. Yost in punt formation.
Interesting, though, Heritage doesn't have a man deep.
Expecting something. Yost runs to his right, gives it the old Australian rules, and that thing. What an effort there by Aiden Lewis to try to knock that thing out of bounds before it got to the goal line. Great kick by Yost, but unfortunately it's going to result in a touchback.
Great play, like you said, though, by Lewis there, as he was just straight up diving for that ball, trying to do anything he could to keep it from getting to the end zone.
And that's the type of leadership example that you want to see. And Aiden Lewis is one of those kind of guys.
Especially out of your seniors on this squad.
Absolutely. Okay, so Frisco Heritage will set up at their 20-yard line. They do have the junior quarterback, Joshua Greek. As we said earlier, I would guess he stands about 6'3", probably weighs about 170 pounds if I had to guess. And moving close to him is B.J. Hooper, I'm sorry. And Hooper gets the handoff. He's met immediately in the backfield, but breaks a tackle and forces his way up close to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like they're probably going to call that about a pickup of 7, as he was eventually taken down by the Lions, but not before a big pickup. It did look like number 6, Devin Stroud, though, for the Lions there, that was eventually able to get him down.
Somebody had him in the backfield for a loss, and he broke away. That might have been McEwen.
I think you're right.
I will call it 2nd and 2 for Heritage. Hooper goes in motion. It's a throwback pass. Hooper's going deep. It's covered very well and very close to interference. Good job that time by Jaden Gibson.
Yeah, and you could have gone either way on that play, I suppose, but he did.
We do have a penalty on the play. Let's see what it is.
Regardless, great job by Gibson to make sure he got his head around and find the ball, because I could see clear as day from up here he hit the ball with his hand.
And we could tell that since it was a backward pass, that it was probably going to be some kind of a double pass situation. And Hooper threw the ball downfield. Got some air underneath it, but well defended by Gibson.
And it looks like that's going to move him back about 5 yards.
Yeah, after the penalty, 5-yard penalty against Heritage, it's going to be 2nd and, we'll call it 7. Ball spotted at the 23. Fakes a handoff to Denzel O. Pass to Bell. Bell is shifty. And he is loose going around the right side. And my goodness, that guy has some speed. He's going to move the chains with a beautiful play.
Yeah, eventually forced out of bounds by number 1, Aiden Lewis. But not before, like you said, he was able to move the chains. And I couldn't say it any better. That Bell, he sure is shifty.
He was running parallel to the line of scrimmage about 2 yards deep with that little short pass, and the Lions just couldn't grab him. So first down for Heritage.
He picked up about 11 yards, but he really ran close to 40.
All right, hands off to Denzel O. He's got good yardage. He's loose at the 50, and he's down inside Greenville territory at about the 42-yard line. Okiuchi with a nice pickup.
And that was a whole pride of Lions taking him down, but led by number 0, Daniel Renner, on the play.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage, 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Denzel O in the backfield. Quick throw out to Bell. Bell gets some good blocking and is forced out of bounds inside the Greenville 40-yard line. I guess you could call this a quick strike offense.
I would agree.
They don't take very long. When they get the ball at the line of scrimmage, they're pretty much ready to roll.
Yeah, definitely.
1 receiver right, 1 to the right, 3 in the backfield, an H-back, Greek, and Denzel O. O gets the ball, and immediately Jamorian Hamilton grabs a hold of him and prevents maybe a gain of a yard.
Yeah, and Hamilton got him down quickly, but it was not without some help from number 66, McEwen, and number 16, Caleb Yost.
All right, 3rd, and we'll call it 4. Greenville defense trying to slow down this Coyote offense. Greek looks to his right for the play call. 19 seconds, plenty of time on the play clock. Bell is split to the left. Hooper and McDonald split to the right. Okikiuchi in the backfield with Greek. He fakes the handoff to him, and the pass is short. It's intercepted. I think that's Renner, and Renner is out of bounds at the 35-yard line at Greenville. Daniel Renner.
Taking away a big play there because the quarterback for Heritage was smacked as he threw it, and that was just enough for Renner to be able to get in there and intercept the ball and get all the way about up to the 40-yard line, it looked like there for the Lions.
So the defensive back, Daniel Renner, creates his first turnover of the year for Greenville and brings it back on a nice return to the 37-yard line, where Rodriguez now will set up the Greenville offense. Good
Great.
pressure that time. I don't know whether that was Valentine on the pressure, but somebody was in Greek's face, as you said, Bentley.
Yeah, and he's going to be feeling that here in a little bit.
All right, 1st and 10, Lions. Freshman quarterback Rodriguez takes a snap, pitches to the motion man, and it looks like Dadrian Payton maybe gets a yard. That's Payton's first appearance tonight. He's a senior wide receiver, and he's one of the guys that I think Greenville's kind of counting on to create some big plays this year.
Yeah, I think you're right. We saw a lot from him last year, saw several catches from him in the preseason game last week, or scrimmage, last week. So it'll be interesting to see how they get him involved tonight here.
We'll call it no gain. Payton is split out to the right. We have a single receiver to the left, four in the backfield. Rodriguez rolls left, pitches to Jaden Johnson, and he is not going anywhere.
Now, stopped for a loss of, it looks to be about 3 on the play.
Right side of that defensive line, and the linebackers for Heritage really swarmed Mr. Johnson on that one.
Yeah.
40 seconds to go here in the first quarter. 3rd and long, 12 for the Lions. Let's see if Rodriguez can find one of his receivers. He's got Payton wide to the right. I think that's Chris Whitus on the left side. He's looking for Whitus. He finds him, and he can't hang on as he is hammered. Nice effort by Whitus, but a good job by the DB there for Heritage.
Yeah, and that was number 23, Malik Brown, and it looked like number 6, Malachi Welch for Heritage there as they worked together to stop Whitus.
Ball was on the money.
It was. Perfect throw.
On the money.
He would have been gone if he hadn't caught it right between 2 defenders that were there waiting on him.
Okay, so that brings up punt formation. Caleb Yost.
Number 5, Jacob McDonald, out back for Heritage.
Let's see if we get the Australian rules football kick. This time he goes to just a conventional. It's straight up in the air. It does get a Greenville bounce and goes out of bounds along about the 37-yard line maybe of Heritage with 10 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Well, we've seen the freshman quarterback, Phoenix Rodriguez, with a couple of throws when he's had protection, both to Chris Whitus and both right on the money.
Yeah, and that's something we saw a lot of last week. If you give him some time to throw, he's going to throw it, and he's going to find his receivers because he's going to get it on target because to be as young as he is, he has a really good arm.
Well, Whitus caught a 92-yard touchdown pass from him last week in the scrimmage against Wills Point, and Dayton had, Dadrian Payton had a 69-yard touchdown, so he can throw the ball.
He definitely can.
So first down Heritage. Looks like we got a new quarterback in the ball game, so maybe Greek did take a shot. Hooper took the snap, avoids the tackle by Yost. It's a fumble! Yost may have it!
And he
it's
keeps
still
rolling.
loose.
And it looks like number 33, Cody Waldrop, jumped on the ball. Check that here in just a second for sure.
Greenville definitely covered it.
It was Waldrop on the play.
And he was really excited. He popped up trying to get that ball to the ref. That ball was loose. It was banging all around. And excellent work by the Greenville defense. And Waldrop comes up with a second turnover here in this first quarter as the quarter comes to an end.
Yeah.
So with all this excitement, we better take a rest here, Pudman. Take a break. Let's hear from our sponsor.
Introducing GEUS Smart Pay, a prepaid electric service. the smart way to manage your energy bills. With GEUS Smart Pay, you're in control. No monthly bills, no late fees, no disconnect or reconnect fees, and lower or no deposits. GEUS Smart Pay. Smart, simple, and electricity on your schedule. Sign up today at 903-457-2800.
Okay, we're back here at TA Cotton Ford Stadium. Bob Muty alongside Bentley Love with Matthew Middleton at the controls. I'll tell you what, we've got some new equipment and a new backdrop that Matthew's responsible for. And I'll tell you what, he does a great job for us, Bentley.
He really does. He really does. He gets everything set up, gets us all ready to go. He gets us to the away games, makes sure we get there safely and get back home safely. And we definitely couldn't be doing what we're doing right now without him. So we really appreciate Matthew.
All right, so after that second turnover, fumble recovery by Cody Waldrop at the 15-yard line of Heritage, going to set the Lions up in great field position to start this second quarter. They trail 6-0 to Heritage Coyotes, but I'm feeling like we're going to get some points here.
I really like our odds here, and it's going to be interesting to see if they run any kind of special trick plays on this drive to try and change things up here. But we'll see if they. But like I said earlier, if they can just give Rodriguez some good time in that pocket with good protection, he's going to find his open receivers.
Yeah, and I don't think he needs a whole lot. I mean, Whitus gets down the field so quickly, and maybe they've got a tight end that's going to be involved in the pass catching. I hope they do, because the tight end often is overlooked.
I agree. But if you've got a good one, it's definitely something that's nice to have.
Caleb Yost, the punter, is our tight end, and he's been lined up pretty much as a blocker thus far. We'll try to identify whether or not he gets into the pass pattern, but great field position created by Waldrop's fumble recovery.
Well, and Caleb Yost is a player that we call his name a lot because not only is he the punter, he's also the tight end, like you said, but he's also a linebacker. As a matter of fact, he's one of the linebackers that was on that play that was responsible for Greenville getting that fumble recovery.
Yeah, there were a couple guys that hit the running back pretty quickly. So anyway, the Lions come out, got a wide receiver, and then in the slot is Caleb Hale.
So you got Hale and Dadrian Payton split out to the left, nobody to the right.
Rodriguez has a running back and an H-back with him. In motion goes Hale. Handoff this time up the middle. Looks like Renner, and Renner's down to about the 11.
So a good solid pickup of about 4 yards there, bring up 2nd and 6.
Renner's not a big guy. Of course, we don't get the sizes, but Renner we know is not very big, but he's quick.
He definitely is.
And Coach Collins decided to use him on offense a little bit. There he goes again. Off right tackle. He's down for a first down inside the 5-yard line.
It's going to bring up 1st and goal here for the Lions from about the 4-yard line, it looks like. As we're going to see him get a little huddle here, looking over the sideline, trying to get a play. But a great play there by Renner, as we're seeing him all over the field too.
Maps and Davenport opened a nice hole there off right tackle. Creates a first down. It'll be 1st and goal at the 4-yard line for the Lions. Payton and Hale go to the right.
Cody Waldrop in the game at H-back, as an extra blocker on the line.
Jamorian Hamilton in the offensive backfield. Man in motion is Hale. Hand off to Renner. Renner's got some room, breaks a tackle, fumbled the ball. And I think Heritage recovered it. Oh, man. That one hurts.
That's going to bring up, it looks like 1st and 10 for Heritage from about the 2-yard line here. And obviously that's not something you want to see in the red zone. But the silver lining on this play is we saw some really, really good pressure from Greenville's defense last drive that they were on the field. And Heritage doesn't have any ground to work with here.
No, and that was a pretty good offensive set. They went to Renner 3 times, and he was hit hard after it looked like he had a yard or two, and he was trying to get extra yardage, and I think that effort might have cost him the fumble. Anyway, 1st and 10 for Heritage. Standing in his own end zone about 5 yards deep is junior quarterback Joshua Greek. So let's see if the defense can do something special. There goes Denzel O, and sure enough, brought down immediately by McEwen after a pickup of maybe 2 yards. I'm sorry, that's Cash Garcia on the tackle.
It looks like they're going to give him a yard there to bring up 2nd and 9 here for the Coyotes.
Well, this is an opportunity for Greenville defense to really to hold them and force a kick, and we'll get the ball back, hopefully with good field position. 2nd and 9 for Heritage. Ball spotted at their own 3-yard line. Hand off to Denzel O, and he's got some room. And he's up for a first down. Still going. 4 or 5 Lions gang tackling, but not before he gets a first down at the 15-yard line.
Whole pride of lines there to eventually get him down, but like you said, it is going to bring up 1st and 10 here from the 16-yard line.
Greek looks to his left, finds Tatum Bell. Bell this time, I'm sorry, that's Hooper. And Hooper is gang tackled after a pickup of about 3 yards. Quick little bubble screen out there to VJ Hooper. Lions sniffed it out pretty well. 9:40 remaining here in the second quarter. Lions still trailing by a touchdown. Hooper and McDonald split right. 2 receivers also to the left, including Tatum Bell. Greek takes the snap, drops back, looks downfield, has plenty of time. Now he throws, has his man, and picked up maybe just 3 or 4 yards. That might have been Bell coming from way over the other side.
I think you're right. And that looks to be number 6, Devin Stroud, again on the play for the Lions. And Stroud is a junior. Don't remember him being on the team much, or not on varsity at least last year, but he's been a big difference maker here. I'm not sure the exact numbers, but that's his 3rd or 4th tackle, I believe, of the night.
I'm pretty impressed with the Greenville defense overall, but the secondary seems to be right on top of their game. Here, Greek hands off to Denzel O. He's got room again. He breaks a tackle and gets a first down. That time, Stroud had an opportunity to get Uchi down, but Okiki Uchi broke his tackle, and he's a pretty big boy. I think I got his stats here.
He stands at 6'2", 230, and that's like a freight train running
and he
at
runs
you.
a 4.6. Greek, look at his time he has. Way down the field. He has a man, and is short, and unable to come up with it. It's a short throw. Is Kenneth Zuniga. And boy, that's a break for Greenville because he was behind the defense.
Yeah, it really is, and Zuniga had everybody beat, and if he'd caught that, it would have been off to the races.
You know, and Stroud might have been covering him, and he might have been feeling some effects of trying to bring down Denzel O on that last play, because the 230-pounder kind of ran over him.
Yeah, he kind of did, and like we said, he's like a freight train running through. I wouldn't want to get hit by him.
Okay, 2nd and 10 for Heritage. Hands off to Denzel, and stopped at the line of scrimmage by a bunch of white shirts. Nice defensive stand that time. In on the play, Ligarian Savage. First time we've called his name. He's in there replacing Mario Valentine, who's getting a blow. I'll tell you what, Savage he's a large man too.
He really, really is.
Did a good job that time of blocking up the hole. Greenville has a 3-man defensive line with 5 linebackers, really. Only 3 in the middle. Fakes the handoff, does Greek. Hamilton with some pressure, gets it away, and finds VJ Hooper for a first down. That's a pretty accurate throw by the junior quarterback, and Hooper's another. They got a bunch of juniors on this team.
They really do, and that shows good things for this team next year too, is they're going to bring back a bunch of guys. But,
First and 10 for Heritage at their own 49-yard line. 7:17 remaining here in the second quarter with Greenville trailing 6-0.
18 seconds on the play clock as Greek is looking to his sideline. He gets a play he likes. Takes the snap, hands it off to his running back. Running back goes to the left.
At Denzel O once again, and he forces his way pretty close to another first down.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to call it a first down, maybe? Trying to decide.
I think one guy pointed there, but they have not moved the chains.
Looks like they may call it second and inches here.
6'2", 230 pounds, and you run a 4.6. I mean, that's a tall order to bring down right there.
It really, really is, because that's a guy, once he gets moving, it takes a lot to keep him from moving.
And fortunately, he's getting a blow right now. So the guy they brought in looks like he weighs about 150 pounds. So he'll be easier to tackle.
Hopefully so, hopefully so. And he's definitely not standing close to 6'2". But they did go ahead and give it to Heritage to bring up 1st and 10 here from Greenville's 41-yard line.
So Okiki Uchi gets a break, and he's been replaced by a much smaller guy whose number I can't see.
I think it's number 10, Kamarian Washington.
Okay. He gets the handoff, and he breaks 2 or 3 tackles and picks up about 7 yards.
He just kind of bounced off the linemen as well as the Greenville defenders, kind of like a pinball there to pick up, it looks like, about 5 yards or so.
Well, Washington's a senior, so he's probably had a lot of carries in his career. Just can't hold a candle to a guy that's the size of Okikiuchi. 5:45 remaining as Heritage is on the march here with a 2nd and 4 at their own, or at the Greenville 35-yard line. Ball bounces off the hands of Bell, incomplete.
As Greenville brought a lot of pressure on that play, and thankfully the pressure was enough to disrupt the pass and keep them from converting there, as it's going to bring up 3rd and 3 here for the Coyotes.
I wonder if that might have been a bubble screen, where you intentionally let the guys in and then you try to block.
I think
for
you
that
might
receiver.
be right.
But Bell couldn't hang on to it. Probably one of the few times that Tatum Bell's not going to make a reception, because that ball was definitely catchable.
It was, and he is a guy. It hits him in the hands, it's probably going to be caught.
3rd and 4. Ball at the Greenville 35. Washington gets the ball. He's loose, and he finally is brought down by the ankles by Jaden Johnson, but not before he gets a first down inside the Greenville 25-yard line.
It's 1st and 10 here for the Coyotes from the Greenville 23, it looks like, with 5 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock in the 2nd quarter.
Well, Kamarian Washington really has some foot speed. He breaks tackles just by stepping out of tackles. Let's see if he gets the handoff again. No, he gets a fake. Greek's looking for his man. It's a low throw intended for Bell. Incomplete at the 15-yard line.
There is a flag back here on the play, right at about a little bit behind the line of scrimmage here. We'll see what that's all about.
So far, no penalties against the Lions that I recall.
Yeah, I think you're probably right on that.
A few against Heritage, but it's been a pretty clean game all around.
It really has been, and that makes it better for everybody.
Looks like a holding call is going to go against the Heritage offense, so Greenville's going to accept that and back them up 10 yards to the 33-yard line. They will get to play over again, so it'll be 1st and 20. Probably a passing situation for the junior quarterback, Greek. And he's got some great receivers, including McDonald, Hooper, and Tatum Bell.
See a 3-man front for the Lions. Number 33, Cody Waldrop. I believe that's number 60, Mario Valentine. Washington gets through and is quickly lit up by number 23, Jaden Johnson, on the play for the Lions. And
Yeah, I was watching my nose guard kid, the kid that I mentored last year, Mario Valentine, and he kind of just did a little dance with the center, and never got involved in the play. And he needs to be looking for that running back. 2nd and 5, or 2nd and 13. I'm sorry. And it looks like we're going to have a procedure penalty, pre-snap against Heritage. It's probably about the 6th or 7th penalty against the Coyotes, so they're showing a little first season opener jitters.
Yeah.
And let's give credit to the Greenville team.
Their defense has been really good, I feel like, so far. But I think the best thing they've played, or best thing they've done so far, is they've been definitely the most disciplined team on the field.
No pre-snap penalties from the offense. No jumping by the defense. Well, here we go. 2nd and 18. Greek looks left. Good coverage over there on Bell, but it looks like it was too good. And the flag comes out for probably defensive pass interference, which will pretty nearly result in a first down, won't it?
Pretty
see.
close there. We'll see here.
Now, in the pros, defensive pass interference is a first down. Is that correct, or am I wrong?
Yeah.
At the spot on the foul.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. It is spot of the foul. It is a first down. So 4:14 remaining. Good defensive play over there. Just, as I said, a little bit too good. That might have been Jaden Gibson over there on that defensive play, but you can't criticize him for that. Greek fakes. He's looking deep. Gets pressure now. He's rolling, and he steps out of bounds. And nicely done. Good sportsmanship shown by the Greenville defender, who could have lit Greek up and probably would have resulted in a penalty, but he just kind of let him run out of bounds, just kind of bumped him. And that might have been Gibson again.
Well, and despite the penalty on the play before that, it again shows the sign of discipline.
Yeah, and it looks like it might be another penalty against Heritage. Let's just see. Oh, no, this one might go against Greenville. So we're talking about the Lions not being penalized. Let's wait and see the officials call.
No, it's Heritage.
Holding on Heritage. That's going to walk them back
20 yards.
another 20 yards or so, and basically negate that penalty on Greenville from earlier.
Yeah, that's 2 offensive holding calls against Heritage just on this series, and I know they had at least one earlier in the game, so Coach Gilchrist has some work to do with his big guys up front.
Bring up 1st and 20 again here for Heritage.
As dusk is descending on T.A. Cotton Ford Stadium. Greek drops back, lots of pressure. It's a screen pass to Denzel O. O's up inside the 20, and it's a little horse collar tackle, but they just grabbed him. They didn't throw him down by the back of the shoulder pads, but he's got about 18 yards on that little screen pass, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 2 inside the 15-yard line of the Lions.
Well, and that just shows again how hard it is to stop Okiki.
Yeah. You wonder if the Lions might be able to just sustain them for 3:56 left to keep them out of the end zone. Greek gets some pressure. Nice one-handed catch by Hooper, and Hooper's working his way inside the 5-yard line. He's forced out of bounds, I think, at the 4. And one of the Greenville's Alliance has come up a little bit lame.
Yeah, and that's not something you want to see here, especially not on the first game of the season. The trainers go out to him, and hopefully it looks like it may be a cramp of some sort, but we'll see here. While we give them a second to figure this out, let's look at a few scores from around the district, if I can get this to load here.
Well, we're already, we've got Tyler Trexel on the injured list tonight, along with Caden Bell, so we've already been affected by the injury bug, and hopefully this is not going to add to that list.
Yeah, definitely not something you want to see, but it looks like we've got several games going on. Right now, Crandall is leading Mount Pleasant in the second quarter, 14-0. Waxahachie is up on Ennis in the second quarter, 15-0. Stephenville is leading Midlothian Heritage, 7-0. And I don't have scores for a few of these games, but Cleburne and Corsicana are going at it. as well as Terrell and Frisco Memorial, and as well as Kaufman is playing Rusk in Kaufman tonight. So we're back here.
First and goal from the 5-yard line. Up the middle goes V.J. Hooper, and he's into the end zone untouched for a Heritage touchdown. That injury, by the way, was to Devin Stroud, but he got up on his feet and walked off the field under his own power. So the Lions give up a touch. That's the second one for Heritage, this time by V.J. Hooper. So they lead 12-0 as the placement out of the hole, really, of V.J. Hooper, so he's a pretty versatile guy. And it will be Hector Santana with the placement attempt. They went for 2 on the first time, and quarterback mishandled the ball and was tackled for a loss. Here's the kick. Santana's kick is up, and it's good. Heritage 13, Lions nothing.
We're going to take a timeout here, get a word from GEUS, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
I own an electric company.
I own a power plant.
I own an internet provider.
Because I'm the owner, real people answer my calls.
Since I'm the owner, I can walk right in and talk to people face to face.
As an owner, a technician comes to my house to make sure my internet problem is fixed right.
At GEUS, we treat you like you own the place because you do. GEUS, true local ownership.
And welcome back here to T.A. Cotton Ford Stadium as we're getting ready for the Lions to get the ball back here with 3 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the second half, or excuse me, in the first half here. Looks like, again, we've got Renner as well as Chris Whitus back deep for the Lions.
5 guys on the front line standing at the 48-yard line for the Lions, and we got 2 guys wide at the 30. They're the guys that generally get the pop-over kicks. One of them is Jacob Irvin here on the near side. Let's see if this, now we got the different kicker in this time.
Number 35, Nolan Fitzgerald.
It's a longer kick, and I guess it's fair caught. Is that Greg Washington?
Yes, sir. Fair caught by Washington. It looks to be the 19-yard line.
He's playing it extra safe, I guess. He probably would have had some room to run there.
I think he might have, but at the same time, can understand it.
He signaled for the fair catch and then quickly got to the ground after he caught it. So Greenville's going to set up right at the 25-yard line. They trail 13-0 to Frisco Heritage, a Division I school with an enrollment over 2,100. Well, that's a big school.
It's a very large
5A.
school.
Okay, freshman quarterback Phoenix Rodriguez has Jaden Johnson in the backfield, fakes it to him, rolling right, in trouble, and he is sacked hard. Brought down hard that time. I wonder if that was French again. Number 33.
It was Aiden Lozano, senior linebacker, but I think if French wasn't one of the ones that helped him, he was real close to being there too.
Yeah, it looks like about a 10-yard loss. Rodriguez just didn't have a chance. He had no time whatsoever.
His window was about 2 seconds on that play.
Yeah, the blocking scheme definitely broke down there, so offensive line coach is going to have a word with the guys over there. That's a heck of a way to try to get something going. 2nd and 20 for the Lions. Let's see if they keep it close to the vest. Nope. Rodriguez is going up top. He finds his receiver, and Caleb Hale is down, I think, for first down yardage.
It looks like it, and it does look like they're going to move the chains. So like we saw earlier, it doesn't matter, I guess, if they have a big loss, because when they have a big loss, Rodriguez, that's when he seems to play his best football.
I'll tell you what, Bentley, that's just impressive. I mean, he's back throwing from his own 10-yard line, and he throws a bullet for a first down, 20 yards down the field. I'm liking this kid. Fakes the handoff, looking now. Now he's scrambling. Oh my goodness. He is thrown down mercilessly, but he pops right back up. That was number 53 for Heritage.
And that would be...
Not on the roster unless
is
they
not.
miscalled the number. You know, they get a guy who's only 140 or 150 pounds, and they throw him around like a wet dish rag.
They really do.
And,
They really do.
But to his credit, Rodriguez got right back up. 2nd and 12, 152 remaining. Rodriguez looking downfield, has his man. It's caught at the midfield. And once again, the ball is right on the money. And that might be Hale again, I'm not sure.
It was
Whitus?
Whitus, Chris Whitus.
Chris Whitus, one of, I think Whitus is going to be his favorite receiver.
And you know the even better thing about that? He's a sophomore.
Sophomore and a freshman, you can't beat that.
You cannot.
All right. 131 now. Lions moving now. 2 first downs back to back through the air. In motion goes Jamorian Hamilton. Rolling right is Rodriguez. He's being pursued. He gets rid of it. He's got the completion. And loose at the 42-yard line might be Hamilton. Nope. It's Whitus again, maybe?
No. It's Caleb Hale.
Well, I'll tell you what, these guys with the single digits.
When 2 and 5 do look a little similar
Well,
from way up
I
here.
have to apologize, folks. My eyes aren't what they used to be. But that was another great throw by Rodriguez under pressure, and nice run after the catch by Caleb Hale. And the Lions take a timeout.
Going to bring up 2nd and 2 here for the Lions with 1:12 left, and we're going to take a timeout with them.
When GEUS first brought high-speed internet to Greenville, the world looked like this. Today, more than 20 years later, the world looks like this. Some things change over time, and some things stay the same. Fast speed, reliability, and hometown customer service. GEUS, delivering high-speed internet to our hometown for more than 20 years.
First down Lions here at T.A. Cotton Ford Stadium with Bentley Love. I'm Bob Muty. Ball at the 41-yard line, 2nd and 2. Phoenix Rodriguez drops back, looking downfield, throwing deep, and the receiver and the quarterback were not on the same page. Unfortunately, that ball was not intercepted. Good call. Good call on 2nd and short to go deep, but there was a miscommunication. I think that was Dadrian Payton.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful throw there, but I'm not 100% sure what was lost in communication between the two. But nonetheless, going to bring up 3rd and 2 here. Very manageable for the Lions.
Rodriguez rolling to his left, has some time, looks downfield, and his receiver is knocked down.
And there's the flag.
Yeah, it's an interference call against number 28 for, that's Taden Waltz, and he just buried the receiver before the ball got there. So that'll be a first down by a penalty, defensive pass interference. They'll spot the ball at the 35-yard line. That stops the clock with 1:01 remaining here in the first half, and the Lions on the march.
You know, that throw was pretty much right there on the money. Would have hit him in the chest, but he wasn't there because he got thrown to the ground.
Brentley, I don't think I've seen a pass tonight that wasn't well thrown by Rodriguez. I'm serious. I mean, the kid is really good.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. He is definitely showing off that he can definitely throw the ball.
All right, the chains are late getting moved, but it's 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. And under pressure is Rodriguez. He gets rid of it. Let's see if they say a receiver is in the area. I don't see anybody there. So that might be an intentional grounding call. Let's wait and see.
Looks like I saw a flag on the field, and they are going to call it intentional grounding on the Lions.
Well, that'll be a spot foul where Rodriguez was when he let the ball go, and that's at the 41-yard line, it looks like. I don't think they'll walk off anything, will they? No, it's a spot foul. That is a loss of down, however, so that'll bring up 2nd down, and we'll call it 16. And Greenville's going to take another timeout.
And we're going to go with them. And we're back here with 56 seconds left on the clock as we see both teams still in their huddle. Player for the Coyotes getting stretched out over there on the sideline.
Both bands lining up in the, actually that's a Greenville band, the Flaming Flashes, lining up in the south end zone, getting ready for the halftime performance. 56 seconds remain here in the first half. Lions are facing a second, we'll call it 16. Very effective passing offense thus far for the Lions. Very, very impressed by the freshman quarterback, and he's 5 yards deep in the 3 receivers right, 1 to the left, looking downfield, and again, miscommunication with his receiver. Caleb Hale was running a fly pattern, and Rodriguez was throwing a down and out, and Rodriguez is telling him about it. So the freshman is not afraid to assert himself. That's 2 miscommunications, and I got to believe it might have been on the wide receivers.
May have been, but we'll see. Hopefully they can get back on the same page here real quick, as they've got 3rd and 16, which is not ideal, but we've seen them complete some not ideal things before. So we saw some coaches talking to them there for a second, telling them they got to figure out and get on the same page again, and here we are.
Little muddle huddle that time. 2 receivers right, 2 running backs. Fake to running back. Rodriguez has some room this time, and he's going to get, he goes down. He probably could have had a first down, but he went down sliding just to protect himself, which I got to give him credit for that. But he's short of the first down by about 4 yards, and we got a Greenville. Looks like Braden Maps might be down, and we can't afford to lose that guy.
No, we can't, as well as a flag on the play, so we'll see what this is. And based off what the trainers are doing, it looks like it may be a cramp for Maps, but hopefully if that's what it is, it's nothing any more serious than that. As we see the guys kind of looking around, getting some water and talking it over here. See what they're going to do, because that brought up, I believe that's going to bring up about 4th and 3, 4th and 4 on the play, and with only 47 seconds left on the clock, I wouldn't be surprised if they go for it here.
That's one of those times when, as a freshman, you want to protect yourself, but I think he could have had that first down.
I think he could have, but I saw a couple guys lurking, and I can understand why he did it, but at the same time, it would have, I think he probably could have gotten it, but if he'd gotten it, he would have been lit up afterwards.
Could be a very well, and for a preseason game, it's not worth it.
Yeah, no, and when you're looking there, we see Maps get up and walk trotting off under his own power, so that's a really, really good sign here, because you'd hate to lose the senior offensive lineman there at the first game of the season. So
it looks like he brought his shoe, carried his shoe off, so that might have been part of the problem too.
Maybe.
Mario Valentine in to replace Maps at the right guard spot. Valentine's also a pretty big guy, and he's just a junior.
Yeah, and we see Valentine play a...
What's the spot here? There must have been a penalty call that we didn't see, because the ball has been spotted back at the 49-yard line. 3rd down and 29 to go, or 23.
It had to have been a holding call of some sort, I suppose.
All right, so lots of space needed here. Rodriguez misses his man that time. He was looking for Coytes, I believe, and he took a pretty good whack. His offensive linemen pick him up, but he's a little bit shaken.
He's kind of holding his side a little bit as he trots off, but hopefully he's all right. We'll see what the trainers do, and he's not going to see the field again in this first half, so most likely.
Unless we get another turnover.
Barring something really good here.
Caleb Yost in punt formation. Gets a good snap. Good high kick. Going to bound at the 14-yard line. And the Lions down it at the Heritage 1-yard line. Great coverage. Wow. They're calling it the 3, but it was pretty good kick coverage by the Greenville wideouts.
It really, really was. So Heritage working inside their own 5-yard line with 32 seconds left on the clock. And,
well, let's see what the Coyotes do. I can't imagine that they'll try to extend the lead before halftime, but they do have 2 timeouts remaining, so Matthew Middleton thinks they're going to go for the bomb.
They're going to have to take several crazy shots here to be able to move 97 yards in 32 seconds.
It would be even better?
What?
How about a safety?
I like that idea.
All right.
I like safeties.
Well, let's see. 32 seconds. Greek, once again, 4 yards deep in his end zone. He's going to throw, and it is a Hail Mary, and it is caught, and he's loose. And that's probably Tatum Bell, and guess what, folks? That is a 97-yard touchdown. That kind of surprises me, but wow. Wow, what a throw, what a catch, and there's the athleticism of 5'11", 190-pound Tatum Bell, only a junior. So, 19-0 now after that strike. So Rodriguez will get a chance to come back on the field. We may see Bryson Sanders. They're going to go for 2, are the Coyotes. And they line up with that 2 receivers wide with 2 blockers in front.
And it's fumbled by the quarterback as he just decides to sit on it and call the play dead there. So score's going to sit at 19-0 as Greenville's going to get the ball back one last time with 18 seconds left, and we'll see what they can do with it.
Well, they have 2 timeouts as well, so if Rodriguez is able to come back in and they get decent field position, we may see a couple of long passes from the Lions.
Yeah, and I think that's very, very possible, but for something like that to happen, they're going to have to give him some good time and some good protection because they're going to have to let those receivers get way down the field.
The protection's been very inconsistent. There are times when he has a decent amount of time to get the ball off, and then times when he's, maybe Heritage is blitzing some linebackers or something, but they've had some guys in his face pretty quick.
Yeah, they definitely have.
All right. Kicking off for the Heritage Coyotes is going to be Nolan Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, just a sophomore. And deep for the Lions, once again, Whitus and Renner. We have 2 guys standing at the 20. That's probably Jaden Johnson and Greg Washington. Let's see if the kick is a popover. It is going to be a short one. A fair catch is called for and then fumbled by Washington. And I don't quite understand why you would fair catch the ball inside the 20-yard line. I don't get that. But you got to catch the ball when you signal for the fair catch. And Washington, he's struggling down there just a little bit. And Heritage has figured it out. They're going to keep kicking to him.
Yeah, they are. And good thing is he was able to get back on it quick. But the even better thing is we see Rodriguez trotting out here to lead the Lions on a hopefully 18-second touchdown drive.
Yeah, just not very good field position to start. It looks like it's marked at about the 17-yard line. Washington moves to the right, H-back. Rodriguez hands up, and this is probably Renner. And Renner is up to about the 28-yard line. Nice run off the left tackle. 10 seconds remaining. Looks like the Lions are going to be content just to run the clock, not take the chance on getting anybody hurt. Clock's running down, so we'll go into halftime locker room with the score: Frisco Heritage Coyotes 19, Greenville Lions 0. We'll be back in a few minutes. We'll be entertaining
David
Claiborne at halftime here. He's our stat man, and Bentley's going to take a little break, and he needs it. We all need a break periodically. So I'll just do a little recap for as long as I need to. Matthew, I know you're standing over there, and Kami doesn't want you to talk too much, but you got to be impressed with Phoenix Rodriguez. And
yeah, I am. He seems to be poised in there. He's not rushing things. He's looking at all his receivers and routes and finding a man that he feels like is open the most and throwing the ball to them. And even the little scramble that he had a while ago, I mean, he he looked like, hey, I didn't see anybody that was open, so guess what? I'm going to run the ball. And then he took a good turn and decided to slide at the very end. So, yes, I'm very impressed with what's going on with him.
Yeah, Heritage put up 3 touchdowns. One was at 8:16 remaining in the first quarter, and it was a touchdown run of about 4 yards, and that was Okiki Uchi.
I was standing here watching you guys, and I said, you know what? It's going to happen. They're going to go for a bomb. And the only reason why I thought that is because for an offensive coach, all he's got to think is, what do I got to lose? I got like 18 seconds left. Throw the bomb. I'm here. And see if it comes in, then, hey, they got it. So.
Yeah.
I'll get in here.
Well, the second touchdown came with 3:43 remaining in the second quarter. It was a 4-yard VJ Hooper run, and then, of course, that 97-yard bomb from Joshua Greek to Tatum Bell that really, with 32 seconds remaining, just an incredible play by Bell. And we're now joined by David Claiborne, the sports editor of the Greenville Herald-Banner. And David, I know, do you have enough light, by the way?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. Matthew, I don't know whether we can get any light in here or not, but Matthew's going to try to get us some light. I'm having a little trouble seeing my notes, and maybe David is too. How you been doing, partner? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Hanging in there.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Looking forward to it. This should be a very interesting season.
Well, we certainly got some things to talk about here, so lay it on us. Give us the stats.
Well, not real impressive for the Lions. I got Frisco Heritage 12 first downs. The Lions with 6. Heritage with 85 yards rushing. I had the Lions with 17. That's an area they really need to work on. That. This is my 3rd time to see him, and then got to work on the running game. In the passing was 140. Frisco Heritage 12 of 18. Of course, they had 1 interception. Greenville was passing was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 12 for 85 yards. 68 yards. My bad. So Heritage 225 total offense, and Lions 85.
Okay. All right.
But we saw some signs on that one little drive there. What I've noticed about Phoenix Rodriguez, he's got a nice touch.
He really does.
But what we talked about before the game, they're going to come after him. Him being a freshman, everybody's going to come after him. And if the Lions can give him a little time and the receivers can get open, he's got a nice touch.
Yeah, no question about it. He took a little whack there on that last series, but he came back.
He went back in the game. Shows he's pretty tough. From what I've talked to his dad and his family, he's a pretty tough kid.
Well, his dad is a Greenville police officer, is that right?
The police chief of the Greenville ISD. Ramon Rodriguez.
Yeah. Well, we're certainly glad to have him. And with that Chris White's kid, sophomore wide receiver.
He's sophomore. The first practice, I was standing next to Ramon, and he said, keep your eye on that wide receiver there, White's.
Okay.
See, he was the one that had 69-yard, he's the one that had the 92-yard touchdown pass completion reception. Last week did a lot of most of the yardage was running. He showed a little bit of foot speed, but Adrian Payton had the other one, 69 yards. I don't have Adrian I don't have him with a catch.
No.
And they need, that guy had almost 1,000 yards receiving. Like to see him more involved out there.
I think there's something going on there. I don't know what it is, but I'm not liking what I saw out there in that first half from Peyton.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I've got Whitus with 2 catches for 38 yards. I got Caleb Hale with 2 catches for 29, and Jaden Johnson 1 catch for 1. Leading rusher is Daniel Renner with 5 runs for 18 yards. So yep. They were after Phoenix. They got him minus 12 yards losses. Sacked him a couple times.
Yeah.
That running back for Denzel Now, how do you pronounce his name? Do you know?
Okiki Uchi.
Okiki Uchi.
Yeah, try to say that 15 times straight, right?
He's pretty tough. You know, he got 9 runs for 72 yards. You know, Lions are having trouble tackling that guy.
Let me tell you how big he is. 6'2", 230, runs a 4.6.
He's a.
Would you want to try to tackle him? Me neither. Me neither.
He's hard to bring down. You know,
my goodness.
But you know, their running game, other than him, that it's not too impressive.
Well, I'll tell you what, they brought that little guy, Camarion
Washington.
He
had 20. Yeah, he did have 24 yards on 3 carries.
That guy is quick, and he showed me something. So they got a pretty good running game.
I like the quarterback's name,
Joshua Greek.
I wonder if he has a brother named Jimmy.
Jimmy the Greek. You got me on that one, David. Well,
but Joshua Greek, he throws a good football.
Yeah, he's a bigger guy than.
He's a bigger guy. In that receiver they had.
Tatum Bell.
I was doing my homework and I had my eye on Tatum Bell, and no wonder he had 7 catches, 40 yards. And the other one was that Vincent Hooper, or sometimes they call him VJ.
Yeah.
He had 4 catches, 82 yards. So, and then Hooper's the one that had that 97-yarder there. So
I think that was Bell. That was Tatum Bell.
Was that Bell or 3?
No, that was Bell.
You sure?
Yeah. Bell's faster than Hooper. That was definitely Tatum Bell.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was hard for me to see.
I think Bell's probably a D1 prospect.
Well, Coach told me before the game that they have 2 D1 prospects.
Yeah, I think
Tatum Bell was one of them.
Yeah, I think you're right. And he's only a junior.
He's a junior.
So they got a lot of juniors out there.
Yeah.
They're going to have a pretty good club next year.
You know, when you play Heritage in any Frisco team, they're going to be pretty good.
Sure.
Yeah. You remember Frisco Liberty. Now, last year they surprised me. Liberty was way down.
Yeah.
But I remember when they had Jay Ajayi back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he ended up with the Dolphins.
Yep.
You know, usually, and they had a wide receiver that was good. Liberty's had some talent. I figure when you play Frisco, you're going to see some talent.
Yeah, that wide receiver, I think, went on to play for Baylor. He's probably still on the Baylor roster.
Yeah, he's still on the Baylor roster.
Yeah.
You know, I remember he had like 11 catches for the Lions, playing in the it used to be Pizza Hut Park. I never can remember what the name of that place anymore.
FC Dallas.
FC Dallas.
Yeah, that's a great place to call
Great
football.
place.
Game.
You know, the Lions have got to play some nice places. You know, over there and at the Star.
Toyota Stadium. That's what
Toyota
it's
Stadium.
called.
That's
there
what
we
it
go.
is now. There
I remember the Toyota trucks.
I do remember those Toyota.
Only way I remembered. Yeah. I'll tell you what, David, if I can remember stuff like that, I'm really proud of myself. But you see where
Cattle Mills is playing tonight?
Oh, man, the
Alamo Dome.
That's crazy.
They're playing Jordantown. That's down there close to where I'm from. That's South Texas.
I never heard of Jordantown.
And I think what it was, they wanted to play Quinlan and it didn't work out. And I guess he went on the internet, who needs a game? And they found Jordantown somehow, and they don't want to drive all the way to Jordantown. That's the other side of San Antonio.
Oh, my goodness.
So, to play in the Alamo Dome, that's a treat.
Yeah, that really is. Those kids got to be really, really excited. And, for those kids, when they get into the playoffs, if they get to go to a field like that, like Jonesboro, for instance, they'll have that experience under their belt. Well, and with the program that Crane is building over there at Cattle Mills, they're liable to go 3 or 4 rounds deep.
The Lions, I ran a photo of it in our magazine. We came out with the end zone of the stadium at Melissa. I like that place.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, Melissa, that was something else. That stadium, Lions have got to play in some nice stadiums now.
That's the only thing I'm going to miss about Melissa.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to miss that offensive tackle they had that's at the University of Texas, Trevor Gooseby, and that defensive lineman that's at OU, that Nigel Smith.
Yeah.
Boy, those guys, they were good. Melissa and Lovejoy, this district's going to be different. We're going to see some teams we ain't ever seen before, like Midlothian Heritage.
Yeah.
And they were 12-1, and they were picked number 11 in the state rankings.
Yeah, they were playing Stephenville tonight, so that's a tough. They were down a touchdown.
And that's
early.
who the Lions have to open district play with.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, we're going to see some teams we've seen before. Ennis and Corsicana, and of course Crandall. Crandall gets after the Lions every time.
Yeah.
Crandall makes some big plays, and Ennis has always been tough. Corsicana's record was down. I'm not used to seeing. I think they were 2-8, maybe. Corsicana.
Yeah.
I'm not used to seeing them like that.
Well, you know, they're probably rebuilding.
They're probably rebuilding,
just like us.
It's going to be interesting. And then when we get to see Marvin Sedbury Sr., Marvin Sedbury Jr. with the Terrell Tigers, you know that's going to be a tough game. So,
all right. Well, David, we appreciate you taking some time and coming in and visiting with us. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back to check out the Greenville band.
The Flashes will now perform a sparkling streamer routine to Love Runs Out. The Flashes would like to dedicate this performance to our GHS staff member of the week, Mr. Robert Hunter. year and is under the direction of Director Dr. Matt Obey, Assistant Director Luke Daly, and Percussion Director John Grant. Color guard instruction by A.J. Pond. Drum majors are Ayanara Escobar, Angelico Fonseca, and Mariana Ochoa. The Line 5 band is currently sponsored by Line 3, Bottle Cap Alley, Candle and Coats, Fuller's Nursery, Greenville Masonite, and loving memories of Carlos Sonnenberg, Uganda, Zappa Clinic, Select Saw and Sew Supply, Sunship Window Tent, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, the Texan Theater, UAW, Local 967, Greenville, Texas. Get that signature landscape. Our section weekend, the Trumpets. Please enjoy this year's live brand marketing production for
Thank you. Introducing the new, better, fast GEUS commercial internet, the ultimate accelerator for your success. With speeds up to 500 megabytes, your productivity will soar to new heights. Power up your operations with GEUS's reliable and hometown service. Join the future of businesses' connectivity with GEUS's commercial internet. Visit our website at www.geus.org or call 903-457-2800 to supercharge your connection.
And welcome back here to TA Cotton Ford Stadium as we just witnessed a great performance from our Lion Pride band. In addition to that, we had a really good talk between Bob and Mr. Claiborne up here giving us some stats and different things like that. So just a reminder, of course, we've got Lion football every Friday night pretty much throughout this season, but for those of y'all that really enjoy the band too, we also show the band at halftime, the flashes, all that, and get those guys some good exposure because they're out here working extremely hard as well. It's cooled off a little bit since first kick. It's now down to 84 degrees as it is 100% dark now. We're playing under the stadium lights, and everyone is getting ready for the Lions to come out of the field house. I can see them in there barely through a door, running a few drills to stay loose and everything. But we already see Heritage's team out here on the field because they don't have an indoor to run drills in since they're the visiting team and keep loose. So.
Do you know if they're being housed over at the high school like in previous years, or they have a location somewhere closer?
I saw them walking over there from the high school. From the high school before the game started. I don't know if they gave them let them get into the weight room or anything at halftime. I didn't see, but.
It's one of the things about our facility, which is not very hospitable. The kids from the visiting schools have to walk all the way across the parking lot from the high school gymnasium locker room. So it's not the friendliest thing to do, but Coach Collins inherited that, and I guess there's no other way to treat your opponents.
Yeah, no, and at least not right now. I suppose they could set something up in the future, set up some benches and stuff in the weight room, because I talked to a few of my friends that played football in high school, and they said, I believe it was Crandall, that's what they do. They put the visitors in the weight room. So that is an option maybe down the line, but right now I think I'd prefer just to have a regular locker room, even if I had to walk a little bit further. But so we're about a little over 2 minutes away from kickoff of the second half here. Of course, nothing's changed. Greenville's down 19-0 to start the second half, but hoping to see some different line football here in the second half.
And folks, you are listening to the voice of Bentley Love. He is so humble, he hates to identify himself, but that's who it is. Bentley Love, he's alongside me. I'm Bob Muty. I've been doing this for a long time. Bentley and I have been working together for 2 years. And at some point in his future, he's probably going to be on TV, working for ESPN or Fox Sports or somebody. So write the name down, Bentley Love. BENTLEYLOVE. Because he'll be on the TV someday.
Well, thank you, Bob. Thank you. We, with a little over a minute left, I figure we'll give you a few scores from around the district and different teams Greenville's going to be playing soon. At halftime, Crandall was leading Mount Pleasant 21-7. Waxahachie is up on Ennis 15-0. Stephenville in the second quarter, probably halftime now, is leading Midlothian Heritage 7-3. And Sulphur Springs, who Greenville will be facing off against next week here at home, is leading Poteet 39-10 at halftime.
Oh boy!
So that game has gotten a little crazy here, but
well, Poteet's really been struggling the last few years. They've been in our district, thankfully, and they've been the perennial doormat, and I guess they haven't been able to see their way clear to get anything going. Here come the Lions, led by the three cadets from the National Junior ROTC program and the Big Flags, GH&S.
And the first two guys out of the tunnel for the Lions this go-around was number 14, Adrian Hawkins, as well as number 2, Caleb Hale. And just a reminder, we saw Hale catch quite a few passes in that first half. I wasn't up here for the conversation about stats, so I don't know his exact stats, but I know they were pretty good.
Well, according to David, Rodriguez completed 5 passes out of 12 attempts. 2 of them to Hale, 2 of them to Whitus, and 1 of them to Jaden Johnson, which of course was for a loss. But I kind of thought his numbers were better than that, but it was for 65 yards. He was thrown for a loss a couple times. That takes away from his numbers. But most of the throws, almost all of the throws, I thought were delivered into a catchable situation.
Yeah, I would agree. The only ones that weren't right on the money were the ones he threw as he was getting drugged down to the ground. And so overall, I would say we saw a really good first half out of the freshman quarterback. And despite the score, I would say a really good first half out of the Lions defense. Most of those touchdowns that were scored by Heritage came on just small minor breakdowns where somebody got loose or something happened and they just broke free of one defender and there wasn't anybody else there. But overall, I feel like the Greenville defense played a really, really good first half.
Yeah, with 32 seconds remaining in the first half, I think you and I were figuring that Heritage coming out of their own end zone, we're not going to do anything. The only one who had it pegged was Matthew, and he said they're going to throw long, and sure enough, Greek got great protection, and Tatum Bell beats his man, and 97 yards later, it's 19-0. I mean, I just didn't expect them to do that, and I wish they hadn't.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
But anyway, Greenville lining up for the kickoff. It looks like Nick Just is going to do the honors. They'll be kicking from our left to from our right to our left, from south to north. Probably going to be a pop-over kick, 2 steps, and there's the short kick. Comes down at the 30-yard line, taken there, and he advances the ball about 5 yards before he's pushed out of bounds by a couple of white-shirted Lions.
Yeah, and that was 2 Lions on the play. One of them was number 25, Greg Washington, on the play for the Lions. Unable to identify who the other gentleman was on the play, but they got to him pretty quick and were able to force him out of bounds. It's going to bring up 1st and 10 for the Coyotes from the 38-yard line.
We talked about the red piping on these new white uniforms, and they are easy to see, but we're looking through the glass. The glass is not real clear. My eyes are old, and Bentley forgot his glasses, so we're struggling just a little bit. We'll try to do better. Here's Greek. He hands off to Okike Uchi, and Okike Uchi takes his 230-pound frame up for about an 11-yard pickup.
Greek is 6'5", 215 pounds.
What?
We got word from somebody in the chat that Joshua Greek stands at 6'5", 215 pounds.
Well, I knew he was a long drink of water. There's his pass out to the left to VJ Hooper, and Hooper's got about a 6-yard pickup. Good coverage out there by the DBs. I think that might be Gibson over there. And Gibson has come up a little bit lame, and he's going to lay down. They tell him to lay down, and trying to run all the way across the field when you got a gimp doesn't work.
No, it really doesn't, and it's definitely not something easy to do. So
we'll take an injury timeout and see how he's doing.
GEUS trims trees all year long because we want first-rate electric reliability. And you know what that makes? Mulch. Lots of mulch. Mountains of mulch. And if you know someone who needs mulch, just come to 502 Wesley Street to pick it up. You'll have to load it yourself, but you can take as much as you want for free. Because it's just one more way GEUS is delivering hometown service and world-class reliability.
Cotton Ford Stadium, Bob Muty alongside Bentley Love. Frisco Heritage with a 19-0 lead with 11:17 remaining here in the second half. Joshua Greek takes a snap, drops back, looking deep. He's got Tatum Bell, and he overshoots him that time. It's either Bell or Hooper. Bell wears number 2, Hooper wears number 3. Bell's got a little bit more speed, and I think that was indeed Tatum Bell.
I believe you were right, and thankfully it was a little overthrown because he had 2 line defenders beat there, but we're going to see Tatum Bell, it looked like, take a play off.
That's probably the same play they used when they scored that 97-yard touchdown.
I think you're probably right.
And they took advantage of the fact that Gibson wasn't out there at the cornerback spot. Here comes Okiki Uchi, and this time the Lions do a better job on the big guy. He only picks up a couple yards.
It was a team effort of several guys, but one guy went and grabbed him by the ankle and was refusing to let go.
That's the way to bring a big guy like that down. 4th down and 3, and it looks like Heritage are going to go for it. They're in Greenville territory at the 44-yard line. Joshua Greek now looks over to the sideline. He's got 20 seconds left on the game play clock. So they get to the line of scrimmage quick and have plenty of time to change things up. Here comes the snap. Okiki Uchi gets it, and he gets the first down.
Well, and that's something really good about having somebody like Okiki Uchi on your roster and in your backfield. You just give him the ball, and like we've said numerous times, he's really hard to take down.
How about kudos to you and me for pronouncing that guy's name as well as we have tonight?
Well, we were looking at it before the game, thought about just calling him Denzel O the whole game, and we've done it a few times, but I think we've done a pretty good job of getting his name right.
Yeah, I think we should get stars next to our names. All right, 9:56 remaining here in the second half. Here's a long ball again, and the man is open, and it's off his fingertips once again. Greek looking for Tatum Bell. And he had a step on the Greenville defender.
Yeah, and that one was a little bit closer than the one before, but thankfully still just out of the reach, as it looks like that was number 6, Devin Stroud. Or, excuse me, no, number 7, Reagan Goggins on the play. And he was there.
We might, if I'm out there looking at that defense, I might double team old number 2.
You know, I think I would too. It looks like they've got number 3, Jaden Gibson, back on the field set up against him this play.
Okay, here comes the snap. Once again, Okiki Uchi is busting downfield, and he's close to moving the sticks. I think it's going to be maybe just a tad short. And quickly to the line of scrimmage, Heritage. They don't mess around. It's tough to get some substitutes into the game as as Cash Garcia comes into the game real quickly.
Yeah, and it looks like they did go ahead and give him the first down, so it's going to bring up 1st and 10 from the Lions' 31-yard line.
Greek looking to the sidelines, getting its call from head coach Kenneth Gilchrist. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Single man in the backfield, bubble screen to Bell, and Bell is buried right after he catches the ball. Great defensive play that time. I think that might have been Gibson
It
again.
was number 3, Jaden Gibson, and called his name several times tonight, and it's been well deserved. He's made several really good plays on the field so far.
Well, I'll tell you what, to ask him to cover Bell one-on-one, that's a big ask.
It really is, but he's done a pretty good job so far tonight.
All right, we'll call it 2nd and 14 for Heritage. Gibson moves right up on Bell. Here's a handoff. I think that might be Washington. And Washington steps out of a tackle. That little guy, he's tough to bring down.
He's not hard to bring down like Okikiuchi because of how big he is. He's hard to bring down because of how shifty he is. And fast, and he's small.
Now, you pronounce Washington a whole lot better than Okikiuchi, though.
I do. That is definitely the truth.
I got to hand it to you, Bentley. You were right on that one. Okay, 3rd and 11. Greek is back, throws a bubble screen, and it's dropped. That might have been Bell.
It was.
He's had 2 drops tonight, and I said earlier that you won't see him drop too many passes, but he's dropped 2 of those bubble screens tonight.
Yeah, so that's going to bring up 4th and 10, it looks like, for the Coyotes here.
8:06 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, 19-0. Heritage is in front. They've got a 4th and 11. Ball is spotted at the Greenville 32-yard line. Be a great time for a turnover on downs. Bentley, what do you think?
I think they need to bring some serious pressure, but maybe bring some help on Bell over
All
there.
right, we got a blitzing linebacker. Ball is deep, and that might be caught by Bell. He didn't drop that one. And I think he victimized Jaden Gibson. Gibson was just a step behind him, not bad coverage. Just a perfect throw, and kind of a diving reception by Tatum Bell in the end zone.
Yeah, and nothing really that you could do much about that one. Is that, like you said, was just a really, really well-placed throw, and really, really good of Bell to just go out and get it.
Well, the junior combination there, Greek to Bell. Bell clearly is a D1 prospect, and maybe Greek is going to turn into one as well. Here's the placement. The kick is up and good by Nolan Fitzgerald, and that brings the score to 26-0 in favor of Heritage. 7:59 remaining. Maybe it's time for a word from GEUS.
We're going to
Or
stay
maybe
here,
not.
it looks like.
Maybe not, you know. Let's Bentley, say something, would you?
Well, you know, me personally, I was hoping I was going to see some double coverage there on Bell on that play. But unfortunately we didn't, and he was able to get into the end zone. But I don't know if y'all can hear it at all, but Greenville's band is going crazy down here in the sidelines right now with these drum cadences, and a little bit of a difference from their stand tunes they played earlier in the game. But they're keeping it going right now, keeping the crowd, trying to get them back into it. As we see Greenville's receiving team splitting out onto the field, getting ready.
Looks like Caleb Hale and Renner this time will be the deep guys. Washington's still in there. He'll be stationed at the 20.
$5 says they kick it to him again.
We'll see what they do with the ball. I bet it goes to Washington, or they may kick it deep. We'll see. He's back pretty far.
Well, Hector Santana's got a good leg. He can get it down there to the 5-yard line where Renner and Hale are standing. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's an onside kick. Fumbled by number 14 for Greenville. It's a scrum. Let's see if the Lions got on it. Looks like maybe they did. Wow, that was a really tough kick to handle. Adrian Hawkins.
They're winning 26 to nothing, and they do an onside kick.
Yeah, that's not the most sportsmanlike thing to do. You know, when you got a 26-0 lead and you try an onside kick. Fortunately, somebody got on that ball. I don't know whether it was Hawkins after he made the initial attempt, but in any event, thankfully, the Greenville Lions are on the offense. Now let's see what freshman quarterback Phoenix Rodriguez can do on this series of downs. He's been pretty effective, even though he's only completed 5 of 12 passes. He's been under pressure. Looks like we may have a mark off here. I'm not sure why, but it's a 5-yard mark off against Heritage.
Yeah, going to bring up 1st and 10, it looks like now from the 38-yard line, as we see a pair of receivers out left for Greenville. Looks like number 13, Dadrian Payton down there, and I can't see the number on the other guys. Number 2 in motion, Caleb Hale.
Handoff that time to Renner, and Renner's got no room to run. Trying to get off the right side, just nothing doing.
Yeah, and that's something that that Heritage has been doing really well tonight on the defensive side of the ball. They've been really good at shutting down the run, aside from three, 4 runs right down there by the goal line. And ultimately they did end up forcing a fumble. But Greenville's had a little bit more success passing the ball, I'd say, than they did running it so far.
But Renner's the only one had any success at all. He had 18 yards in the first half. Unfortunately had that fumble inside the 5-yard line. 2nd and 10. 2 receivers right. In motion is Washington. It's a bubble screen, and this time Rodriguez misses his receiver. And that was Payton. Looks like it might have been a catchable ball that Payton just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, it got his fingertips, but it wasn't quite right on the money, but still a catchable ball. But there was a lot of traffic going on over there too, so it's going to bring up 3rd and 10, it looks like, here for the Lions.
That was an interesting call. I've never seen that kind of. Rodriguez took a couple of steps to his left and up toward the line of scrimmage, and then just fired it parallel to the line of scrimmage on a bubble screen, and Payton could handle it. 3rd and 11, 3rd and 10. Under pressure, Rodriguez, he scrambles out. Looks like he's going to try to keep it. He loses the ball, pops up out of his arms, but he captures it and results in a loss of about 2 yards.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to bring up about 4th and 12 from the 36-yard line, and we're going to see Caleb Yost and the rest of the punt team trot out here to kick the ball away.
Well, the Lions are trying to get Rodriguez with as many opportunities to throw the ball as possible, and I commend the offensive coordinator, Coach Collins, for doing that, because that's the only way he's going to learn. Here's Yost. Good snap. Gets a kick away. It's a low kick. Going to bound, and looks like it's going to go out of bounds at about the 36-yard line of Heritage.
Yeah, so we're going to see them swap sides of the ball here, as it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Heritage Coyotes from the 36-yard line. And we'll see Greenville's big 3 up front come out again, and of course their secondary that's had an all right night tonight so far, as well as, of course, for Heritage, we're going to see the guys like Greek, as well as Okikiuchi, and maybe Kamarian Washington this drive for a few plays. Who knows? It looks like he is out there right now.
He probably stands about 5'8", maybe, if he's that tall. But anyway, he's awful small next to Greek. Here's a pitch to McDonald. Going around the left side. He's loose on the left side, and he's brought down from behind at about the 43-yard line of the Lions after about a 20-yard pickup. Well blocked over there. Very well blocked.
Definitely. Blockers picked up pretty much every one of their men, and like you said, a new first down on the Lions' territory. We'll see what the Lions can hopefully get something going here to keep them from advancing it any further.
Greenville defense been on the field quite a bit tonight, Bentley, and here they are with a first down for Heritage, and there's a pre-snap penalty going to go against the Heritage. You know, it's the only thing about Heritage that's not in their favor tonight is their discipline. They're just not executing cleanly.
Yeah, you're right. They've had a lot of penalties tonight.
But they've also had a lot of long passes for touchdowns.
They really have.
All right, here's Joshua Greek, junior quarterback now. Stands 6'4", did we say, or 6'5"?
6'5".
Fakes the handoff. No, he gives it to Washington, and Washington's brought down after just a 2-yard pickup. So good defense out there. Mario Valentine might have been in on that one.
I think you're right. It's going to bring up 2nd and 13 for the Coyotes. As we see,
Frisco Heritage picked to finish 6th in their district, and we know it's a tough district, but they've got a lot of underclassmen, and they're probably going to put together a pretty good season, and they'll be better next year.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Because all these guys, regardless of whatever happens this season, they're going to use this season, build on it for next year.
Here comes Bell in motion. He takes a little flip, and again, good defense by Greenville. And Bell is stopped after just a short gain.
See a little talking between Yost and Washington, but nothing comes of it. Ref was watching them pretty close.
Now, we talked about Okikiuchi's speed. Tatum Bell, 4.5. 4.540.
That's fast.
That's pretty quick. And 3 receivers now to the left. Bell's one of them. McDonald to the right. Washington and Greek. Greek drops straight back. Good protection. Finds Bell. Bubble screen. Bell is breaking tackles and advancing to another Heritage first down. The skill position players for Heritage are outstanding.
They really are. They really are. And, the two, obviously, biggest names are Denzel O and Tatum Bell. But they've got several other playmakers like V.J. Hooper as well as Jacob McDonald.
Quick pass out to Bell. Gets a block. Picks up about 7 yards. Heritage just gets to the ball quickly and moves the ball smartly down the field, mostly through the air. They're effective on the ground, but Greek to Bell and Hooper, some of these other guys, I mean, they have a devastating passing attack.
They've definitely got their matchups they like.
That's a good way to put it because those Greenville DBs are really struggling. There's a fumble.
It looks like a fumble.
And that's a
Greenville
turnover.
Picks it up. That was number 18, Jamarion Hamilton, it looks like, that picked it up. And is going to give Greenville the ball. It looks like at about the 27-yard line, maybe 28.
That's the third turnover that the Lions have created, so let's give them credit for that. That was kind of a botched handoff from Greek to his running back, and Hamilton was right there to recover the fumble. He's been in the backfield regularly.
He really
has.
has.
And that time it really paid off.
Yeah, and he's definitely been a big difference maker in this game, and I think he's going to be a big difference maker all season long.
Okay, let's give credit to these guys up front for Green. We've got Nick Just at center. We've got Osornio and Braden Maps at the guards, and then Julian Sixtos and Levi Davenport at the tackles. These guys have been endeavoring to keep protection for Rodriguez. They give him pretty good protection that time. He gets a little flare pass out. Might be Jaden Johnson.
Yeah, it was, and it looks like he picked up about 3 to 4 yards, maybe about 3.5 or so. It looks like they're going to go ahead and give him 4 and bring up 2nd and 6 here for the Lions.
Okay, positive yardage, always a good thing when you got a freshman quarterback. They'll give him a little confidence. 2:50 remaining, clock running here in the third quarter. Lions trail by 26.
22 seconds left on the play clock as Rodriguez gets his play and drops back into formation.
And a little jump by one of the Heritage defenders, and he bops Nick Just and knocks him over. So that's a offside penalty. Go against Heritage. Yet another flag against Heritage. They've had some problems tonight with the penalties. Clearly.
Yeah, and that is something else that Greenville has done really well. They've had a penalty or two tonight, but for the most part, they've been really disciplined. So that's going to bring them all the way up to the 36-yard line here. Bring up 2nd and 2, it looks like, or 2nd and 1.
That was Eddie Carter who jumped off sides. So the Lions now have a 2nd and 1. We like that kind of situation. Let's see if Rodriguez, on 2nd and short earlier, they went for the bomb and there was some miscommunication. Let's see if he hands it off this time. He keeps it now, and he spins his way, and that's going to move the sticks.
It will indeed. It looks like it's going to get them right exactly what they need and bring up 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line, excuse me.
He had to pitch as an option, but chose to get it himself, and that was a good choice.
Yeah, and he had plenty of blockers to be able to get around that edge and pick up a couple yards.
All right, 1st and 10 Lions. Greenville spotted at the 38-yard line of the Lions with 2 minutes remaining and clock running. 2 running backs behind Rodriguez. He fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, under pressure, and just dumps it out of bounds.
Yeah, and I think that was, unfortunately, the smart call there is he had 2, 3, pretty much a whole pack of Coyotes on him there. And was able to get rid of the ball before he was taken down for a loss, and was able to get it past the line of scrimmage too, so they didn't get him for intentional grounding.
Yeah, he's already had 2 intentional grounding calls tonight, and to his credit, that time he got rid of it quickly, realizing that it wasn't going to work.
Yeah. So bring up 2nd and 10 here, still from the 38-yard line for the Lions. So we see Peyton go out way right. And I believe that's Caleb Hale also going right.
H-back is Greg Washington. And now it looks like the Lions are going to take a timeout. Little confusion there on the play call. So the Lions take a timeout, and so do we.
When GEUS first brought electricity to Greenville, the world looked like this. Today, more than 130 years later, the world looks like this. Some things change over time, and some things stay the same. Competitive rates, reliable electricity, and hometown customer service. GEUS, delivering reliable electric service to our hometown for more than 130 years.
And welcome back here to TA Cotton Ford Stadium. Minute 48 left on the clock here in the 3rd quarter as the Lions talking it over for a couple more seconds. Trainers keeping everybody refreshed, including the referees.
Got to treat those guys in the stripes, the zebras. You got to treat them right.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%, especially when it's hot outside.
And it's still pretty warm at, what'd you say, 84 still?
I believe so.
All right, Lions 2nd and 10 after the dump off by Rodriguez on 1st down. 1 receiver right, 1 left, 3 in the backfield. Man in motion is Hale. He gets a little flip, and just not much going there. Good defense. Looks like French was in on that one, and 3 or 4 guys in the maroon jerseys just engulfed Hale and threw him for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, unfortunately, French, accompanied by a whole band of Coyotes, was able to take him down there for, it looks like, a loss of 3.
So Rodriguez is going to be forced in a 3rd and long situation. 1:15 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Bob Muty alongside Bentley Love with Matthew Middleton at the controls. This ball game being brought to you by GEUS, Greenville Electric Utility System. And now another timeout against the Lions. So there's a little communication problem, although the coach is pointing at somebody out on the field, like one of the back judge. And I don't know what that's about, but this is going to cost the Lions their 2nd timeout early. So 57 seconds remaining, and we've only got 1 timeout left. Not that this is such a critical situation, Bentley. The number of timeouts is probably not going to be that important.
Yeah, and I think we're going to take a timeout with them here for just a second.
And we're ready to go again. 3rd down. We'll call it 13 for the Lions at the 36-yard line. Rodriguez rolls right, looking deep, finds a man, and that was a nice defensive play coming from the linebacker or defensive end spot to knock that pass down.
Yeah, I believe that was number 7 for the Heritage Coyotes.
That was a really good read defensively that time by Tedemola. Pronounce that first time? I noticed you didn't go for that.
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure. So
Bentley
I
looked
decided.
down. He looked down at the roster and said, "Oh, that's just number 7." Okay, here's the punt by Caleb Yost. It's handled and fumbled, but McDonald gets on it. Good coverage again by the Lions. Their kick coverage has been very good tonight.
It really has. It really has. And if that ball had gone more than about 2 yards away from him, I think the Lions would have been able to jump on it. But he was able to just kind of flip his body backwards and land on top of it.
So 1 first down for the Lions on that series, but really not a sufficient amount of time to give that defense a chance to rest.
No, not at all. 45 seconds left on the clock here in the third quarter. Coyotes working from their own 36-yard line as they've got a little bit of a ways to go to get into the end zone, and not a ton of time to do it in this quarter, but hopefully the Lions defense is going to stand strong here and force a turnover or force them to punt it.
Well, we've had a couple opportunities to get a turnover on downs, but we just weren't able to pull it off. Got to finish the job. Here's Greek. He gets some pressure, and he dumps it out of bounds, intending that time for number 11, Kenneth Zuniga.
And that was number 23, Jaden Johnson, on the play there, providing that pressure. And he got to him, but not until after he was able to get rid of the ball, unfortunately.
That was a good defensive line push that time by number 90, Armstrong Teeters, and number 80. I'm sorry, number 70. Good push in there by the defensive line. Here's a handoff to Washington. The scat back is able to avoid a couple of tackles and get out of bounds. About the 42-yard line. Pickup of maybe 5 yards.
That was number 21, Keontae Ross. So a third running back we hadn't seen yet tonight.
He just ran like Washington.
He really did. They look, and they're almost identical in size too.
Joshua Greek at the controls. Junior quarterbacks had a big night passing for Heritage. He hands off this time, and that is Washington, and Washington is dropped just short of the sticks. That'll bring up a 4th down.
And it looks like that was number 6, Devin Stroud, on the play.
4th in the yard, Bentley. What do? You're moving the ball, no sweat, right?
Put more meat in the box.
Well, I think the Lions need to load up the front and be ready if he comes out there. Be ready for a Denzel O run up the middle.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, though, they got to be ready for them to throw the ball. But since they're changing the quarter, I think we're going to take a timeout with them, and we'll be back here for after this message from GEUS.
Conserving energy is important to us here at GEUS. We even pay rebates when you buy energy-efficient appliances. Your conservation helps all GEUS customers. In the future, we will need to build new electric generators, and this can be expensive. And with our population growing, we will need that power. That's why we give rebates for Energy Star appliances. So think about replacing your bulbs with super efficient LED bulbs or adding insulation to your attic. Together, we can help all GEUS customers by doing our part. Check out our rebates online, and remember, GEUS is always ready to serve and assist you in any way we can.
All right, the guys don't have to go very far to change quarters here. The ball's going to be spotted at the 46-yard line of Heritage with a 4th and 1 as we begin the 4th quarter here at Greenville Stadium, named after one of the great athletic directors and fine gentleman in Greenville history, T.A. Cotton Ford. It's really a beautiful field. We've been blessed with this artificial turf for many, many years, and I think we replaced it one time, but The end zones, the red is turning a little bit to pink, but the surface is still good, and it's kind of a pleasure for these guys to play here. 4th and 1. Let's see what Heritage comes up with. Goal line defense for Greenville, and Heritage is able to break through with Kamari Washington for a Heritage first down.
Bring up 1st and 10 here from the Greenville 49-yard line as they were able to flip the field there and get across the 50. As unfortunately it looks like we have an injured line on the field. That may be, I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like it may be Jamarion Hamilton. We'll see here in a second. It looks to be a cramp as they're stretching him out a little bit on the 50 there. Hopefully it's not Hamilton, and if it is, hopefully it's just a cramp because he's been a really big part. As I think we're going to take a break and let them figure that out, and we'll be back in a second. Welcome back to TA Cotton Ford Stadium, as we did see Jamarion Hamilton walk off mostly under his own power, so that's a good sign, as I'm pretty sure it's just a cramp, but he is going to take this play off.
Well, it's hot and humid, and dehydration is setting in, so there's a flip to Zuniga, and he picks up about 4 yards before he's run out of bounds on the far side of the field.
Bring up 2nd and 6 here, it looks like, for the Coyotes. And we'll see what they're able to do with it. Hopefully, not much.
Well, they've been pretty effective, and you wonder how much longer Gilchrist is going to go with his starters, because we haven't seen much of Denzel Okikiuchi since the latter part of the 3rd quarter, and I see some new receivers in there now, so... Greek drops back. It's a bubble screen. He finds his receiver. It's number 23, whose number we haven't called tonight. His name is Malik Brown. And Brown is actually thrown for a loss.
Yeah, it looked like a loss of 2 or 3 yards there, as the whole Pride Lions got there real quick to him and were able to take him down and keep him from getting any yardage there.
Bubble screens are good for the quarterback numbers. Just not good for his yardage most of the time.
No, not at all. So it looks like they're going to go ahead and give it to him right at the line of scrimmage, which is going to bring up, again, 3rd and 7 here for the Coyotes.
Lion defense trying to stiffen and force a turnover on downs or a punt. Going wide is number 21, and he is thrown down for a loss of about 5 yards. Good job by the defensive left side.
Yeah, really good play there. It's going to bring up 4th and 15, it looks like, here for the Lions. And for the Coyotes. And most definitely, I believe we will see a punt here. I could be wrong. Haven't seen the quarterback leave the field yet, but I'd be surprised to see him run a play with needing 14 yards and it being 4th down here.
You wonder if the quarterback might be able to punt the ball from a short punt formation.
He may be.
Anyway, it's 4th and we'll call it 15. Ball spotted at their Heritage 46-yard line.
Looks like they may be going for it. Nope. Yep.
He drops back, looking downfield, going for the downs, and it almost intercepted at the 20-yard line by Greenville, intending, I think, for... might have been McDonald. I don't think that's Caden Bell over there.
I believe it was McDonald, and that was number 10, Bryson Sanders, that almost had the interception there. But regardless, broken up pass, and it is turning the ball over. And, honestly, you'd love to have the interception, but just knocking it away gave him better field position than the interception would have.
Absolutely.
So,
and maybe that's what Heritage was thinking. This a long throw for an interception would be as good as a punt.
Yeah.
I noticed that, not only Sanders is getting a little time back there in that defensive back pole, but so was Aiden Hawkins. All right, 1st down for Greenville. Rodriguez still in there at quarterback. Hands off this time to, I think, Johnson for no gain. Heritage defensive line's done a pretty good job tonight, Bentley. The offense of the Lions has not been able to really control them the way Coach Collins would like to, I'm sure. And, of course, running back coach Stephen Ford, who we talked to before the game, I'm sure he's not happy with the performance of the running game so far tonight. So lots of things to work on for the Lions. Hale in motion. Handoff this time to Renner, and Renner's got some room to run, and he breaks a tackle. He's down to the 30. He's brought down at the 25-yard line on the far sideline. Nice run by Daniel Renner.
Yeah, big pickup there. As it looked like he was taken down by number 50, Chris Jimenez, for the Coytes, but still a huge pickup there by Renner, and definitely a big push there for the Lions.
He got as many yards, I think, on that run as he had in the entire first half.
I think you're right.
We talked about his speed, and he certainly showed it there, and he broke a tackle, and that really helped as well. Rodriguez hands once again to Renner, and Renner pushes forward.
5 yards.
Looks like they're going to give him about 4 or 5 yards there. Looks like they're going to call it at 3. His knee must have gone down. It's going to bring up 2nd and 7 here for the Lions.
I wonder if Heritage has got some of the reserves in the game now. I really wasn't paying that much attention to the numbers of the starters. We're trying to concentrate on letting you folks know about who's playing for the home team. But the Lions are having much more offensive success right now. Here's Hale in motion. Fakes the pitch. Rodriguez finds him on the right side, and Hale stretches down to about the 18-yard line. Nice job by Caleb Hale after the catch.
He picked up about 3-4 yards there. It's going to bring up 3rd and 3 here for the Lions.
That was an interesting situation where they faked it to him in the in motion, and then ended up throwing him that little flat pass. Pretty effective play for the Lions. 6:43 remaining here in the third quarter. Again, Hale's in motion. Handoff this time. Once again, I believe that's Renner, and Renner goes off right tackle behind Levi Davenport. He's got a first down.
It gets to about the 9-yard line, it looks like, to start up 1st and 10. 11-yard line to start up 1st and 10 here. So one more chance to convert a first down, or if they get that close, maybe they'll just punch it into the end zone.
And Renner limps off the field. He may be cramping up as well. Let's hope that's all it is. He's looks like he's trying to walk it off. Jaden Johnson replaces him. Renner really gets into that hole quickly, and I think that's what Coach Collins likes about having him in that offensive backfield. Freshman quarterback Phoenix Rodriguez leading the Greenville offense, trying to put some points on the board. They're inside the red zone. Here goes Rodriguez on a keeper. He gets down quickly, and he went to the ground, and they still kind of hit him, but no flag on the play. He's down to the 10-yard line for a short pickup.
Bring up 2nd and 8 here for the Lions with 5.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Lions knocking on the door here.
I think the quarterback coaches have had a heart-to-heart with Phoenix Rodriguez and said, Phoenix, when you're in trouble, slide down because we don't need you getting hurt, partner.
I think you're probably right.
All right, he's in shotgun formation. Hale once again in motion. Hand off to Jaden Johnson. Johnson moving forward. He's got about a 6 or 7 yard gain. He's down close to first down yardage.
Looks like it'll probably bring up about 3rd and 2, maybe 3rd and 3 here for the Lions. Very, very much gettable, and I'd definitely be interesting to see what they do here.
They can get a first down without scoring a touchdown.
But barely.
3rd, and we'll call it 3. Rodriguez hands to Johnson, and nothing doing that time. Rodriguez tries to help by pushing him, but now that's going to result in a loss of a yard. So a challenging situation for the Lions. An opportunity to try your special teams, try your kicker, but I'm sure the touchdown would be a much preferred result for Coach Collins and his offensive staff. There's a timeout on the field, so we'll take it with them. A word from GEUS. We are in the fourth quarter, aren't we? Did I say we're in the third quarter?
And we're back here with 4.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Greenville sitting at 4th and 5 on the 6-yard line, so a possibility of picking up a first down and not a touchdown, but not much room to operate here with for the Coyotes as they're trying to keep the Lions out of the end zone.
And the Lions have burned their limit of timeouts. Heritage still with their full complement, but once again, timeouts are not going to be an issue in a 26-0 ball game. I know everybody here on the home side of the field is hoping, as we are up here in the booth, for a Greenville Lion touchdown. So let's see if the offense can come through. This is the second trip into the end zone tonight for the Lions. First one resulting, unfortunately, in a Daniel Renner fumble inside the 5-yard line, which put the Coytes on that touchdown possibility. Here come the Lions. 4th and 5. Rodriguez throwing into the end zone, and it's broken up and over the head of both the receiver and the defensive back. So Lions turn it over on downs. Heritage takes over inside their own 10-yard line. 4:22 remaining.
Be Heritage's ball, 1st and 10 from their own 6-yard line, and they've got a long way to go. But hopefully Greenville's defense is going to maybe push them back even a little bit here. We'll have to see. They've got their big 3 up front.
Looks like Ethan Brand's going to get some time at linebacker, number 12. Ethan played a little bit of quarterback last year for the JVs, but now he's been moved over to the other side of the ball. And he's in there replacing one of the starting linebackers, probably Jaden Johnson. And I'm looking at the quarterback. It looks like Joshua Greek is still in the game. Could that be? Or is that a different?
No, it looks like you're right. I believe that is still Joshua Greek. But it looks like Frisco Heritage decided to take a timeout there, talk it over a little bit more, see what there is to see. Not quite sure what they're talking over in a 26-0 lead right now, but they got something they saw that they thought was important.
Well, I'm always one to second guess the coaches, but if I got a 26-0 lead, my starting quarterback coming out of the game with 4:22 left.
There's no reason no reason for him to still be in there because he's gone this whole game and he hasn't gotten hurt or anything happened to him at all. You'd hate for something to happen in the last 4.5 minutes to him in the game.
But he's in there, and he's a good one. He's had a really good night. It'll be interesting to see what his overall statistics are, with that 97-yarder being one of them, and then about a 45-yarder later on in the game. He's put up some big numbers. Here's a flip to Bell. Bell breaks a tackle. Or maybe that was Hooper. Hooper wears number 3. Bell wears number 2. That was V.J. Hooper.
Looks like Hooper got up to about the 11-yard line there, so about a 5-yard pickup for the Coyotes.
Hooper's a little bit thicker and a little bit slower than Tatum Bell, but he still had an impact for that Heritage offense tonight. They can move the ball, and they've got a guy looks like Okiki Ochi walking off the field, limping off. So that's exactly what we're talking about. Here's one of your bell cows walking off the field, limping when he shouldn't even be in the game.
Right. And we hadn't seen him for a while.
No, we haven't. Handoff this time to the running back, and lots of room to run. Breaks a tackle. It's Kamari Washington. He's loose at the 40-yard line. At the 50, Still going, finally hogtied at about the 38-yard line of Greenville.
And that was number 7, Reagan Goggins, that chased him down and managed to get him to the ground. But still a huge pickup there by the Coyotes as they flip the field and give them a new set of downs.
And we got a Greenville Lion down at the 27-yard line, and that looks like something more than a cramp, Bentley. I hate to say.
Me too, but I think you may be right.
One thing I will just definitely say that during this tonight, the discipline of the Lions, not having any penalties, has been great.
Yeah. Matthew talking about the very few penalties by the Lions there, and they got, I think, 1 pass interference. But overall, a really, really good disciplined game by the Lions, and that's something that they can definitely take away from this and build off of for next week when we play Sulphur Springs here at home.
And that's another one of our DBs. That's Devin Stroud. Those guys, they've probably run several miles tonight. Jason Tatum Bell and VJ Hooper around the field here because, Heritage likes to go to the deep passes. And in that case, of course, Kamari Washington, he runs the ball for the longest gain on the ground tonight of about 50 yards. So here we go, 1st and 10 for Heritage. Great, takes a snap, throws right. It's a bubble screen, and the Lions have that one pretty well snuffed out.
Yeah, and I think that was maybe number 16, Caden Thomas.
Got some new receivers in there for Heritage.
Number 15, Ryder Rebel.
What a great name. But not much yardage, in fact, a loss.
No, and it's interesting. Rebel's listed on the depth chart, on the roster as a DB. But they let him take some snaps at wide receiver, it looks like.
Okay. 2nd and 12 for Heritage. Ball at the 40-yard line of Greenville. 2:25 remaining, clock running. Handoff this time to Washington, and he is buried right at the line of scrimmage. Pardon me. I didn't have the sneeze mic there. The sneeze button. We got one of those on this microphone? We got great new wireless mics, but it doesn't have the sneeze button.
So Lions are able to stop him there for it looks like right at about a 1 yard, a couple yard pickup, but still not back to the official line of scrimmage here, as it's looking like 3rd and 11 for the Coyotes with 1:47 left and the clock running.
Actually, I think that's called a cough button. But
I think you're
since
right.
I sneezed, I called it the sneeze button. Here we go. 3rd and 11 for Frisco Heritage. Great, drops back. Good protection. Throws a little screen pass, and it's stopped short. Great play over there defensively. Good, solid tackle on the far side.
That ball was caught by Washington, but he did not go anywhere, as it looks like it was Renner that lit him up immediately. And, Renner's not a very big guy, but he's a pretty big dude compared to Washington.
That might have been Reagan Goggins.
Oh, I think you may be right.
I think I see a number 7, but I'm not sure. Anyway, it was a great hit by the Greenville defensive back. And so it's 4th down, 12 yards to go. We'll call it 13 now as I look at the scoreboard. Fakes, gives the handoff, and Washington is brought down after about a pickup of 5 yards. So that will be a turnover on downs. First one for the Lion defense, so kudos to the guys in white.
And Greenville will get the ball back with 48 seconds left on the clock. And I imagine they'll just kind of work to run the clock out here.
I kind of hope they throw some long passes.
We'll just wait and see. We thought that Heritage was going to play it close to the vest at the end of the first half, and they didn't. So let's see what Coach Collins has in store. We still have the starters out there for the Lions.
I want to see this quarterback get at least a 1 touchdown pass.
Phoenix Rodriguez, a freshman quarterback. I think he's really acquitted himself pretty well tonight under some real pressure. Here's a snap. It's a handoff this time, and not much doing for the running back. We'll call it no gain. And it looks like the Lions will play it close to the vest. as the clock is ticking at 30 seconds. Greenville trailing 26-0. In the home opener here in Greenville. Next week we play Sulphur Springs right here at TA Cotton Ford Stadium, beginning at 7 o'clock. Our broadcast will begin at 6:45.
And that game will be senior night as well.
Here's a snap to Rodriguez. He hands off to Jaden Johnson. And he's brought down. And that, folks, is calf rope for this one. The Lions fall to Frisco Heritage by a score of 26-0. Good performance, really, overall for a team that's just trying to find their sea legs under a new coach with a young quarterback. Lots of improvement ahead, Bentley, and room for improvement. And I think Coach Collins is going to learn a lot from this, and he'll have his coaching staff going over tape and trying to figure out where they can get better.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I mean there are some good things to take away from this game. They were very disciplined on both sides of the ball. They had one, maybe two penalties on the defensive side of the ball, but I don't think they had a single penalty on the offensive side of the ball. They saw whenever he had some good protection. They saw some really good throws from Rodriguez, really good passes, and they had, I think it was 3 turnovers on the game. So overall, I'd say a pretty decent game there for the Lions.
Well, Heritage is pretty excited. That's to shut somebody out, another 5A team is that's quite an accomplishment, and they did it on our home turf. So kudos to them, and they'll go through the rest of the preseason and try to get ready for their district, where, like we said, they're only picked to finish 6th. So they're probably not a playoff team, but from what we saw tonight, I was pretty impressed.
I was too, and I mean, you've got guys like Denzel Okikiuchi and VJ Hooper, as well as Tatum Bell, and then of course Joshua Greek throwing them the ball.
Yep.
They've got a really good core over there, and I think they may finish a little better than 6th. I know that's where they're picked, and I don't know who all's in their district, but it'll be interesting to see how they do finish the season.
Well, the Lions are huddled up around Coach Collins, getting the post-game discussion. And this is good to see because, Collins now has their full attention. They've just had their butts beat, pretty good butt whipping, and with a couple of exceptions, everybody's in that huddle, and they're finding out what Coach thinks about it.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And I think the scoreboard shows that this game wasn't very good at all, but I think this game was a lot better and they could learn a lot more from it than you would know just looking at the scoreboard or just looking at the stat sheet. And that's big because they've got Sulphur Springs, like we said, next week, and that's going to be a big game because Sulphur Springs, they're not the best team they're going to play this year, but they're pretty dang good as they're up on Poteet right now, 54-17.
Yeah, well, obviously they could put some points on the board.
Last time we played Sulphur Springs, though, we won.
The Lions, after that huddle, now are standing on the sideline and doing their little side kick to the alma mater, and that's a good thing. But prior to that, Coach Collins had their full attention, and I'm sure he was encouraging them and saying, "Look, guys, we got lots of room for improvement. We're going to go ahead and go to work, and we're going to do better next week."
Yeah, and I think that's really good. It's obviously a loss on the scoreboard and everything, but you can learn a lot from a loss, and hopefully they're going to learn a lot and bring it into next week. But not only next week, whatever they learn, they can carry on into the weeks after that. So it'll be good to see how they bounce back for next week. But Matthew, do you have anything else? Bob, do you have anything else?
I do not, Bentley, so we'll say goodnight to you folks out there in Lion Land. Once again, the final here at TA Cotton Ford Stadium in Greenville. The Frisco Heritage Coyotes 26, the Greenville Lions 0. So for Bentley Love and Matthew Middleton, I'm Bob Muty saying good night, everybody, and God bless you.
This video has been brought to you by GEUS. GEUS is your community-owned provider for electric, internet, cable TV, and true local programming.